meeting. Are you ready?
If we could come to order and if everyone would stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first of all, the agenda, the one thing I noticed is we had agreed that we would do petitions from the public both at the beginning of the meeting and then at the end of the meeting. And so between numbers 13 and 14, I would submit petitions from the public.
Before the bills?
Right,
We have
before
a
the
15,
Sorry?
we have a 15 item.
Right, that's
agenda.
adjourned, yeah.
This is before adjourned.
Yeah, well, do you want it before adjourned or before bills?
Doesn't matter.
I was putting it before 14,
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Number 13?
yes. Are there any other amendments to the agenda?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was reading the agenda that we had from last week, and there's a glaring mistake on number
Are
8.
you talking about the minutes or the agenda?
Oh, no, not the agenda, I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to minutes in just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so are there any other amendments to the agenda? And if not, is there a motion then to accept the agenda with the addition of petitions from the public between items 13 and 14?
I'll make that motion.
Sandy? Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Jim? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so minutes, we'll take them one at a time. First, our minutes of the meeting of March 21st. Are there any changes, corrections to the minutes of March 21st?
Yeah, you want to go first, Sandy, or do you want me to?
You can go.
Okay, March 21st, number 8, administrator and clerk positions.
All right.
The first one says, trustee Jermaine read a statement about the administrator and clerk positions. The statement is included in the minutes. I motion that we include it. Trustee Averson said to include it. It carried 5-1, but I don't see that it's included. I really don't know what those were, her statements.
I think you have to, let me get that.
Oh, okay, oh yeah, that's right, sorry, before I move on, yeah. Is there a motion to appoint Joe to take minutes for this evening?
Well, we have a clerk.
Sorry?
We have a
Oh,
clerk.
okay.
So hold on.
All right, oh, that's right,
That's
okay,
our-
yeah, okay, yeah, she's functioning as a clerk, so,
No.
okay.
She said she's not taking the minutes.
Okay, well, as an employee of the clerk, Joe can take minutes, so, all right. Okay, so March, okay, so we don't need, yeah, okay, because you're doing it at the direction of the person acting as clerk. All right, so number 8, okay, so again?
Well, we've been talking about some statements and letters that Peggy had, and she wanted them included in the minutes, and said she made a motion to include them, but I don't see them included in this.
Oh, okay, so you just want a copy of them? then?
Well, I just want to copy them because we made a motion, and Peggy requested it, and
Right.
it should be there.
Does Joe have them?
Yes.
Okay, so you have them?
Violation of the Open Meetings Act on 3 instances now because the attachments are never attached.
Okay,
And even though we had a council vote, our attorney, you sent me a few letters saying if a letter is read, it becomes part of the official minutes. So if that's true, it's
If the
Palatable.
council, if the council decides that letters should be made part of official minutes, yes. But no single person can, let's, so.
well, no, we've got the letter, okay, so, yeah, so just make sure any in the future,
No,
any letters.
the point I was trying to make is, do we not need a motion if it's an automatic thing?
This whole
When it's
stack
read,
in there.
you send me a letter because I asked you to pull it, and there was no council motion.
The only
No
reason,
letter.
Well,
So we'll discuss that
They
later.
mean specifically the statement that Peggy submitted.
Okay.
the reason we
So-
did that is because if Peggy requested, whether you agree or not agree, and you make a motion to include it, she wanted her to be
Right.
included, period.
Right, yeah, yeah,
Just to make it proper to.
yes,
Sure.
and in the future, we'll always make sure that
Yeah.
that's part of the packet.
Okay.
So, okay, you can do that.
Not on that meeting.
All right, so Sandy, did you have something on the March 21st minutes?
I have, no, not on the March 21st meeting.
I have something on the March 21.
Okay, yeah.
I don't see how we'll be able to approve them because it says that we accepted them as amended, but the amendments aren't cited, nor is the meeting at which the February 21 corrections included. So we have neither the amendments, I'd have to listen to my tape to find out what they were, and they should be reflected on the February 21. The corrections need to be attached to this.
Oh, I see, okay, got it, okay. All right, well.
So we should just table.
Yeah, we'll table March 21st
March
until the next
21.
regular meeting.
I'm not
Okay.
following.
Sorry?
I'm not following.
I'll explain. Yeah. All right, so we'll just table that for next month. Okay, then the next one, the meeting, the minutes of,
Well, I have a question
Oh,
though,
okay.
too, since our attorney's here. Can you approve oral minutes?
Can we approve what?
Oral. If somebody just gives a report orally, should you, if there's no tape for the village or no way to check it, do you ever approve oral minutes? Because here it says we approved an oral report. So I was wondering, should
That's
we?
my
like, if a
personality.
committee submits an oral report, I generally ask that the council approve that report.
It's, I don't see that's the problem.
Okay.
But, and maybe if there were a particular problem or whatever, more specific. But in general, we get oral reports from department heads and they're approved. I think it's nice if we get written reports on the committee, but if we don't,
Okay, yeah, and we have been encouraging committees to submit written minutes, so. Okay.
Sorry, I'll try to do that.
All right.
Okay.
Can I have one more thing on
Yeah.
that? Didn't we pass a motion to get like a tape recorder for the clerk? We do have it?
It's recording right
Oh,
now.
it's recording right now, okay, so we can always go back on that as well, or is that not?
Oh, that's fine, I'll
well,
try to make sure.
the tape recorder, the recorded minutes won't last forever. I mean, the recording of the meeting won't
Portion.
last forever. I mean,
Okay.
So it's a nice reference if you have a question, and it still exists.
All right, then, okay, so minutes of March 28th. Yeah. Virginia.
Okay, March 28th. Number 5, employee contracts and wages.
Yes.
The first part is correct. We made a motion to approve the contract for our police chief Keith Anderson, but when we get down to the motion by trustee Abramson and second by trustee Dwyer to make Rob Remley full-time with full benefits, we never discussed that. We discussed making him full-time,
Full-time.
we discussed,
No benefits.
we didn't even discuss benefits whatsoever. That's a glaring mistake.
Okay.
That was after the fact when someone from the public made a comment. I think a lot of us said, that's gonna go to personnel, we're gonna
So
take care of it.
strike
Yeah,
with
that
full benefits.
And I did watch the YouTube, thank you, Cindy, and that was not discussed by,
All right, so we're
Johnson,
striking
no.
words with full benefits.
Yes.
Okay,
That's the same thing I had.
okay. All right, are there any other changes to March 28th? Okay, if not, is there a motion to accept the March 28th minutes as amended?
so moved.
Sandy? Okay.
second it.
Okay, Sharon?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
I,
I
Any
have
opposed?
a question though. It says, for that infrastructure grant,
Yep,
it says that it will be signed by the highest elected official, and then it was the clerk.
right,
So the clerk isn't the highest elected official.
right, but that was the motion, but the clerk
Okay,
ultimately.
so that's what I was thinking, so we can leave
Yeah,
it stand.
Yes, yes.
Okay, just so we remember
Yeah,
who
so,
signs what.
all right, right, so we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes of March 28th. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then we have the minutes from April 6th. Any changes to those?
The only thing I see is the time of the meeting was at 6 o'clock, if I remember right. Instead of
Yeah, you are
7.
correct, yes. Yeah,
That's the only
correct.
thing I noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, so, all right. So yeah, the time of the April 6th meeting was 6 PM, not 7 PM.
Please
So
say.
it said adjourned at 6:22.
Yeah, that was just a typo.
That's a good
That's
one.
just a typo,
Yeah.
so.
Way too much time on our hands.
All right, are there any other changes? If not, is there a motion to accept the minutes of April 6th?
I'll make a motion. We can have
Okay, George, is there a second?
Support.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, petitions from the public. Who would like to speak tonight? Nate?
You're going to be able to ask questions of the clerk candidates
Yes, yes.
during
Yes.
the process of...
Okay, so council members, that's the question for you. Do you want the public to be able to ask questions of the clerk candidates this evening?
Motion to allow anybody?
I would say, can you ask them now?
Or you have to pass a motion to check, to let the public petition to speak at that part of the meeting.
I'll make that motion. Whoever's here and has questions, let's get them answered.
All right, is there a second? Second, Jim, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, yes, so you'll have an opportunity to ask questions.
All right. Second, another street department's right up in the front of the agenda. I'd like to see that. Steve, you get to go home early. Personnel meeting, you stated that in September that you would be going for surgery and you probably be working towards retirement at that end. Last year, we hired Rob, and now we have him all full-time. You've been training him. What's the status? I mean, we've only got, this is April, so May, June, July, August, bam, September's here, 4 months, and no street administrator with winter 3 months away. Okay? Rob's gotta be trained on doing reports. He's gonna need more time, authorized time for this training. He can't be working underneath the truck and learning how to do his job. You know, this is what they hired him for. This is, Steve's judgment is the best guy to take over his spot. You know, somebody that's gonna be here for years. You know, I urge the council to take action on that. You know, also, on the street department, Steve is wondering how you're coming along with gathering up all the snow removal contracts, sidewalk and otherwise. Is that something that's all together?
It's in my report tonight.
Okay, excellent. And then, just as to an oral report at a meeting of a public body must really be recorded in the minutes if it's coming from another public body. In other words, you can't just come to a body and give a report and it not be recorded. It's a matter of public record. So whether the oral report in itself is okay as long as it's recorded in the minutes of that meeting, the substance needs to be there. You know, can debate on that, but I think I can cite statute on that. And then, planning commission, zoning board of appeals, I'm in 100%. I'm so glad that the result of me having a meeting right here by myself spurred getting some members in there. I feel like I accomplished something. DDA, you know, the DDA made their own appointment, you guys are gonna confirm it, you know, read the ordinance. The president can submit you a name, but you don't have to approve it. I got no problem with Leah Polzheim. I actually think she's a really nice woman, she'll probably do a really good job. But by denying other members of the public that aren't in that same clique the right to be represented in a district that we fund is wrong, you know. take the vote, go ahead and take the vote, whether to put me in. Dave, you could nominate me, but for some reason.
Your name will be in the meeting is scheduled on May 2nd.
Yeah, at the DDA,
Right.
but not here, Dave.
Well,
You know, the DDA has become a small clique of people that, you know, just read down the list, man. Where's the money gone in the last 20, 30 years? Everybody that's on that list, everybody. The only one that hasn't got anything is you, that I haven't found, you know. Clerk appointment. Already know the vote. Already know the vote. Fix is in. You know, I'll warn you guys now, do not destroy your emails. That is a matter of public record. Whether, if you're discussing public business on your emails, whether they're personal or through the village, that is a matter of public record. All right? Do not destroy it. Emails have been destroyed in this office, and emails have not been provided per FOIA request. And those are clear violations. I'll be following up on those. I just want to let you guys know, because Dave let everybody know back in November, second meeting, pretty sure it was the second meeting, second or third meeting, you know, he let you guys know, don't do it. You did it. Dave even participated in it. You know, it's illegal. Don't let it happen again. I am not letting anything go by anymore. All right? What else we got here? The HDC is making an effort with the public buildings to try to get some torn down and some fixed back up. You know, that's great. What effort is being made in the residential area? None. Absolutely none. The blight ordinance isn't gonna handle the house next to mine, or 2 trailers down from Virginia, or your house, for instance. It's not gonna handle it. Although, right now, you would probably be in violation of the blight ordinance, you know? Probably, you know, and you know, without having a blight ordinance, I guess all of us who were violators didn't get fined in that time. Finance. You guys, big talk about giving Joe Snow a raise. Really big talk about giving Joe Snow a raise. Well, you know, I got a list of a wage survey here, and it, you know, to be fair, it's not Michigan, but you know, I'm just going to leave one copy of it here for you guys. You know, there's nobody on that list, maybe one person, that makes what you guys are trying to give Joe. Joe's been only on the job for 2 months.
And a good
He hasn't,
job.
I am speaking, please do not interrupt me. Joe's
Well,
only
you're
been on the
too
job for 2 months. Joe's has only been on the job for 2 months, and has he done anything magnificent or spectacular to justify a raise? I think not. As a matter of fact, the beginning of this meeting is evidence that he is struggling with his job. Last week, I came in to set up a meeting with him and the zoning board of appeals so we could discuss questions about businesses that are wanting to know about zoning questions. I know per my FOIA request that these questions have been asked of him. When I asked him about joining me for the meeting as a zoning administrator and gave him a written invitation, he didn't even know he was the zoning administrator. It's in his contract. You know, the way that the minutes have had to be corrected every week, every meeting, you know, shows me he's not even doing that correctly. I'm not saying you can't do a good job, Joe. You just started, but you just started. You know, when you take an average of town clerk salaries, you know, you're right where you need to be. You're right where you need to be. Nobody cut you a raw deal. Nobody didn't consider your experience. You're right where you need to be for a town clerk. The highest paid town clerk in the survey was 51.5, and that was in New York. You know, actually it was 67.5, something like that. You know, so, you know, for you to hold this body hostage by asserting that they treated you unfairly when they hired you, you knew full well when you signed that contract, that was a good deal. Michigan Tech didn't come back at you with a better offer.
Nate, I think your 5 minutes are coming to an end, so.
It's
you
it's
think
a
we've
long
wrapped it up?
time, yes it
please.
is.
Well, you know,
Yes,
I don't have a
long time.
timer on here, you know?
Well,
mean,
I have a watch
How do
here.
I mean, if we're gonna hold these rules, then you should
Now, hold your
stick
own
to these
meeting
rules,
elsewhere.
you know? And if we're gonna ask people not to interrupt each other, then let's not do that, you know? I'll concede my 5 minutes, you know? But this idea that you guys can keep the public from speaking, this idea that nobody has a right to speak, that nobody's good enough to be in the same room with you, it's got to be gone. It's got to be gone. The willful neglect of duties has got to stop.
Stick with the facts.
The official, that is a fact.
All right, let's settle down, let's get some order here. Okay, just,
I will
all
call it a night, Dave.
right, thank you. All right, is there anyone else who wishes to speak this evening? Yes, Frank.
Well, since we're gonna start this bickering in about 5 minutes, then you better get an actual clock and put it up there and actually click it. And not have interruptions, including from the public. Because I'm tired of this.
Who do you think you got?
I'm tired of this. I am talking, not you. You don't have the floor.
Mike, please sit down. Let's keep order in here.
So, you better consider it very quickly. Or there will be federal charges. Because you are violating my freedom. You get that?
I understand.
That's not a threat, that's a promise.
Please lower your voice. Please lower your voice.
Good grief, let them have a meeting before you start with your.
Well, I see you're gonna play this game.
Okay.
This is not.
You know what?
I understand.
Can I-
Let him
No.
Listen.
No,
Sandy, let him finish. Let him finish.
I am gonna let him finish. He
Okay.
doesn't have to holler at us.
Right, no.
That's all
Please,
now.
I'm not hollering. If I'm hollering, your ears are gonna be ringing.
Okay.
So, if you don't like it tough, you can sit down and stop and intimidate.
You can.
Fine, keep it up.
Are you finished?
I'll consider it.
We don't have all night.
Yeah, well, I have 5 minutes.
Or use them up, please.
Well, I can use them up in silence too.
Or then we can go on with the meeting.
No, I haven't given the floor. My time isn't up. I don't have to give it up. I can use it up as any way I please.
I'd like to know what your complaint is.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand what it is, and maybe if we understood what it is, we could listen to you instead of this hollering, disorderly conduct.
Disorderly conduct.
You are hollering. You are
I think you
hollering.
better learn. No, I am not. If I'm hollering, your ears are gonna be
What
ringing.
is your complaint?
My complaint?
Yes.
You are following whatever rules you bloody please and not following what you stated originally.
Be specific.
Be Pacific. I was Pacific.
No.
Yes, I was. Listen again.
All right, listen again. Let's state what your complaint is.
If there's 5 minutes, you better have a bloody clock.
There goes the
Because
threats again. You threaten.
Mike,
I did not threaten,
Please,
but you
please
keep it
don't-
up,
don't-
you'll find out what happens.
What are you gonna do?
Okay. I should wrap myself up.
We don't need to have disorderly people in this. I agree that people that from the public have a chance.
You want to judge disorderly.
You are.
You are being disorderly because you're talking over my time.
You are out of
No.
line with your tone of voice.
Well, that's tough. You don't like my tone of
I
voice.
don't.
Well,
I
tough
absolutely don't.
shit.
You are being disorderly.
Yeah,
being
well,
disorderly.
yeah, it's your opinion.
It's
Your opinion doesn't count.
It's not an opinion. If
No, it does not.
you have something.
We're
Tricia,
reasonable and-
keep
and lawful-
shut because this is still my 5 minutes.
Your 5 minutes.
No, my 5 minutes are not up.
A reasonable discourse or statements
Hey,
to the council.
you're still talking.
You're not taking 5 minutes to shout people down.
I am not shutting people down, but I sure can if you're not careful.
Well, we ought to consider arresting you.
Arrest me
Yeah.
for having my freedom of speech. In a public time, in a public domain. All right, fine. You want to play that game? We will see you later on.
All right, is there anyone else? Okay. Let's move on. Then the first item is Elm Street Infrastructure Grant to amend the authorizing resolution. The original resolution indicated our contribution would be $85,000, and the amended has it as $93,500. So is there a motion to amend the infrastructure grant resolution?
I think it was a simple error.
Yeah.
It should have been
Right.
10%
Yes.
of the
Of the
total
total.
grant, not just the village's share.
Exactly.
And that, so
Right.
it shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Just finding that 8,500, that's the problem.
So is there a motion then to amend the resolution?
I'll make a motion to amend.
Okay, Verge, all right. Is there a second? Jim, okay. And we'll do voice vote. Jim? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Verge?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes,
And I'm a yes.
if you admonish him to be a little more careful in the future.
Yes, yeah.
We're all doing it.
All right, then the next item is the MISTA grant request for $11,651. Are there any questions? Mike is here.
I make a motion, we make that grant payment, Mr. Grant payment.
Okay.
Can you second that
Second,
motion?
Sharon. All right.
Can I ask a question of Mr. Lottie that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with that?
You're the trustee, you can.
Mr. Lottie, if you could, you know, I don't want to utter the words Italian Hall Memorial, but has that become a 501c3 yet?
The 501c3 is the city or the village.
The village, so that's why I was wondering, because I noticed in the paper funds are coming here.
Yeah.
I thought it was your organization that was getting that connotation as opposed to the village. So the village is
The
carrying.
village is getting.
Okay. Gotcha.
Just to clarify, there are some entities that are tax exempt, and gifts made to those entities are deductible. So private, nonprofit corporations that file for 501c3 status and get it are entitled to receive gifts that are tax exempt. The village is not a 501c3 corporation, but it is a municipal corporation, and gifts to municipal corporations are also tax exempt. So that's the reason why gifts to the village are tax exempt, because it's a municipal corporation. And so, just to clarify, I don't want anybody to think that the village is a 501c3. It's it's the same concept, but it's a
Different
it's a
entity.
different
But
entity.
thanks for the correction.
Yeah.
We still appreciate that.
Any gifts made to the village are welcome. I think we appreciate it.
All right. Okay, you can tell I'm jet lagged. Did we make the motion then to approve the?
Okay, I guess we did.
Yes.
Okay, that's right, okay. So any other questions? Any questions for Mike then? Okay, if not, we'll do a voice vote. Jim? Yes. Sandy?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Birch?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yep.
And I'm a yes. All right, next, elevator plans. Who's going to address the council on the elevator plans?
I guess,
Oh, Art, okay.
I guess I will.
All right.
Chairman of the Building Grounds Committee. We have talked with each of your building grounds people individually, just because of my time schedule was done that way. They all know where the elevators are to go, they know basically all the details. What we're asking for now is we show them a rough draft of where it's gonna be installed. UP Engineering now is waiting to hear from us, the okay from you folks, to actually draw the blueprints to the exact specifications and where it goes, so we can get out and start getting it bid out.
Do you want to describe to the council where it's going to go and?
A short version of it.
Yeah.
Roughly, pardon me? Oh, I'm sorry. Roughly from where this thermostat is, that looks like that's the end of the wall. So this is all gonna stay here, but you're gonna lose the you may lose the bathroom, and you lose these two sinks and urinals here will be taken out. This whole front's gonna stay exactly the way it is. Over here, if you're all familiar with the bathroom that's over here, the toilet will be taken out of there. It'll be moved over to this spot over here. There will be a door here going in and out of the bathroom. And then the whole front that goes all the way across here where you go into the bathroom now, all stays the same, none of that. There's gonna be a fake wall behind it. That's where our elevator's gonna go up. And when you come out of the theater itself, out of the exit door there, if you're gonna walk straight into a door, which will be the mechanical room, and then the elevator will be all the way over to the left, which is close to the end of this wall as it goes that way. We won't be touching anything to do with the firemen's den, their eating or anything. And that's basically the easiest way to explain it.
So the mechanicals, what, would be like behind where that window is then?
The what?
The mechanicals for the.
Yeah, basically, right, back in through here.
Okay. Because the elevator itself is fairly small, right?
Right, but it's, if you're familiar with the one that's at the,
Church?
County Armory, it's gonna be basically identical to that.
So do you enter over there?
Right, the doors
So this will be
you enter on the side as you're going towards the theater. You know, as you walk down, the doors will open entry to that small hallway. And then of course it goes upstairs and empties. That's a bad word, but when you go upstairs, you get out, you'd be facing the theater this way as you get out. And then upstairs, according to the building inspector and everything, if you're familiar, there's a ramp upstairs. Once you get up on top of the steps, there's a deck there, there's one step before you walk into the ballroom. There's gonna be the ballroom, and that will be tapered. And there'll be a ramp right across into the ramp that's there, so we don't have to do any more building changes, theater. And the two exit doors that are upstairs, where there's just an exit sign on, those will be where the people can come in. So when you walk through the ballroom, when you come on, if you look to your right, there's a set of doors there, if you're familiar with the upstairs. That's actually where the elevator will come in and out. There's no necessary wiring. There's plenty of power coming in here. Nothing's going to be touched, just to tie it in. And if we get you guys give us the okay tonight, Tara's waiting to draw them up. We're hoping by the end of, what did she tell us, Laura? I'm sorry.
Mid-June.
Mid-June, maybe by the end of October, our elevator will be in, or the elevator. We're saying ours, but I mean the elevator for it. We'll hear it all down and ready to go.
So will the elevator take that whole room, that whole like restroom that's right in there? That's
Part of it.
Part.
Part of it.
it.
Where as you know, as you walk in, the toilet is on this
Right.
side. It's gonna come all the way over here. It'll be on this side. And there'll be a door here. They'll just smooth it over. And that is the ideal spot to put it because within, I think it's 6 inches or it's right over, there's a main wall, main support beam and everything right there for the whole building. So that's why it's an ideal spot to drop that elevator right in there. And that way everything will basically, nothing's gonna be changed. Nobody wanted the front changed. So we did a lot of looking into it and everything else, and that's about the way it is. It'll be a slower moving elevator, so there's not as much maintenance, there's not as much et cetera stuff that goes into it. And if you ever tried to run in the Army, you'll know what it's like. It's pretty much that principle. And it's designed that you can take one wheelchair, will accommodate the biggest wheelchair made because it has to be ADA, and one person can walk with that wheelchair with a person in it. Otherwise, I think it takes, I forget the numbers, it was 6 more, I think it's saying.
8 people.
8 people can actually.
1,400 pounds.
So, and it's just, it's a slower moving elevator, it's just not fast, but it's perfectly for what we need, or anything the village might have upstairs, it's nothing that's.
I know we need an elevator.
I think this is-
Blue box.
Yes.
Limited usage of access. I see it's slower and slower. Thank you.
So,
And if anybody's interested, we do have, because there is a cement wall where the building is built between that and the ballroom, there already is a class 2 fire door. Todd Lewis up here is the building inspector. And what automatically happens now, the theater or the ballroom can be considered safe if there's a fire. So if there's a fire in the theater, we get everybody into the ballroom, the firemen will come up and take out the handicapped people. We won't. And there's a fire in the ballroom, you can go into the theater, and because that's a fireproof, all that kind of stuff, brick and everything. So that's all 100% ready to go. Of course, if there's something we gotta get somebody else, we're gonna get somebody else. You know, I mean, that's obvious, we're not gonna put somebody upstairs. And we have security, as you've been hanging our shows, I have security to come in. Myself and Chris are two of the people, we have other people, big people that come in. So there's plenty of help and everything that comes around. So we're just looking if you're okay to go, and we'll make the call tomorrow, and we're on our way.
So, are there additional questions?
I just want to say, when I walked through it with Art and Laura, I think it's a well thought out plan, and I don't think it's going to interrupt the history of this building very much at all, especially when this wall is going to be the same and out there too. So I think it's a well thought out plan.
So tonight, what exactly are you asking the council to approve? Does the final go ahead?
That's right.
Essentially? Okay.
Because otherwise, we didn't draw our blueprints, draw
Right.
a hard copy, because if somebody said, oh, something had to be changed, it costs us an extra so many,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah, I just want to make sure the council knows what they're approving tonight, so.
Pardon me? Yeah, the floor plans for us to keep moving ahead.
Is that what you're doing tonight? I mean, are you gonna come back to us again, or is it just, okay, so so this is really the last approval?
Basically, you okay it tonight, our blueprints are gonna be drawn, and that's it.
Okay.
That's basically it.
All right, again, I just want to make sure everybody knows what they're approving, so. All right, is there a motion to authorize the theater to move forward with the installation of an elevator?
I make a motion that the plan is a go-ahead for the theater elevator project.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
George?
And I also want to make a comment, you guys are doing a fabulous job with the theater. You know, people don't hear that enough, and I think you're doing a great job.
All right, is there any further discussion?
I'd just like to add, I'd like to be there the day that caterer comes, and instead of having to walk up the steps. See that smile?
We're all ready for that day.
And then the only other concern I have is our lease has terminated, I think, February. And
March.
the copy I have says February on it.
Well,
Oh,
that's the same thing as February.
yeah, well, close enough, but we need to have, have another lease, but you wanted a lease for like 30 years?
Actually, more than that.
But, I think our last one was for 5, and I don't know if we can sign leases and encumber into the future other councils and that. So, I mean, there's some questions that our attorney's here to answer. I hope.
We intend to present a lease to you within the next few weeks that your attorney would be able to review it.
We'll take a look at it.
All right,
I just wouldn't want that to hold up the others. And that, because if we had to do a shorter term lease, we'd have to work some arrangements about the elevator, for instance, if the building was sold, how do we all, what's worst scenario? We need to plan for everything. But that's good, let's plan on having lots of parties here upstairs and use that elevator.
all right.
Thanks.
Is there any further discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Thank you guys for all you do. All right, then next we move on to the street department report. Steve?
Yes, you got my monthly report. Any questions or any, right now, as you probably know, we've been working on sweeping the streets. The reason why I started before the sidewalks is because I have a real narrow time frame on the sweep work. And that may be something you want to look at. If this gentleman sells the sweeper this year, we're gonna look, we may have to look for something else next year. And I'm sure it's gonna be a lot more pricey than the deal we're getting on it now. I've only got a couple blocks to do on the streets themselves again, but until we get the sidewalk swept, which we do put into the gutter, and then we're gonna sweep again one more time, but they won't take as many passes on the street. So I'm looking at probably another 2 or 3 days, but the biggest thing is getting the weather to cooperate, because you can't pick up this stuff when it's wet. So that's the biggest problem we're having, same thing with the sidewalks.
That's one of the projects we're working on. And the street cleanup, now, I'm led to believe that, I'm already starting to receive some piles that are being picked up, that are outside now. I'm still finding Christmas trees that were buried in snowbanks. As time goes by, when we've got free time, we may go by, we won't go out in full force, but we may go by and pick up these piles that are out now, just so they don't spread or blow around. But I'd like to kind of work with the downtown cleanup that they're planning on doing the weekend of the 20th, I believe. And if they do, what I think they do is probably run, my final cleanup is the week before the 20th. Where we'll focus on street picking up with, I'll have the big equipment on. But in the meantime, because it's so early, last year we didn't do it till the end of May, just to show you the time factor. If people put them out in the meantime, it doesn't take that long for us to get them, so we'll just keep kind of hit and miss it. The other thing I've been working on street signs and spoke with the committee, and I kind of gave them a rough picture, but our street signs are no longer illegal for our village because they don't reflect. And when I came to the committee, they were concerned on what I was looking at. Well, this is the sign that we've had to put up at Spruce Street, because there's no signage on Spruce. It's 6th Street and that's the biggest way they come in. And because of the reflection now, most of the signs are out of date. In fact, our signs are actually, there's 2 signs for each street because the spike goes in between the anchor. Well, we're not gonna go that way. It's cheaper to go with 1 sign and then have it mounted on top and on the bottom. So that's the sign, that's the average sign that they recommend. That's basically the cheapest sign. And this one's about $32. I'm looking at 69 signs, and I think, well, you can do the math. I think my number's about, $2,300, but these new signs are gonna need more hardware. So now this is a rough guesstimate, but $800 would probably get me the hardware that I need that we don't have. And we don't have to necessarily do it all in one year. We could pick an area and work on that if you like. It doesn't matter to me. But this will be basically a 2-man project because I'll be able to borrow if I can borrow the lift truck from the township, then there's 1 ground man and 1 on top. So that'll take some time because the older fixtures, if they don't come off by hand, they're gonna have to be burned off probably, or cut off. And usually by the time you cut them and burn them, they're not any good. So that'll take some time. And we can, however you wanna do it, if you wanna start a little, a couple blocks at a time, or the district at a time, it's kind of up to you. And if I get them ordered, I could probably get them within 3 weeks. So, I would like to, if you ever noticed our poles, we have, I think, every bracket that was ever hung on those poles since 1890 is still there. What I'd probably do is while I'm in each pole, clear all those brackets off because a lot of them are tearing up our flags too. So it would take a little while to do each pole, but I think these will look so much better and they are reflective.
Do we have the money in the budget?
Well, we've got some money, but this was one of these projects that we were looking at first and then trying to figure out a cost. And I don't know if I can spare $3,000 out of my repair equipment budget for this because I've got some major repairs coming up. But I think we can take some of this out of the municipal fund for major and local streets. And the majority would come out of the major street fund because majority of these are for the major streets in town.
Good question, Stephen. You haven't hit on this yet, but I know when we had our committee meeting, you said there's some items in the parking lot over by the, by your street building there that you'd like to put out on bids, just get them the heck out of there. I don't know what kind of money's involved there, but did you put said monies towards things you need repairs, signs, or can you do that? Is that
Well,
something you can do?
whatever property there would be owned by the general fund. So if it was sold, the money would go to the general fund, but that's not to say the general fund then can't turn around
Right.
and use it for that.
So food for thought, the other food for thought is, and this is expenditure, for the longest time, we've cleared the property that we own down on 3rd and Spruce Street. That property was always wooded, and we needed some more area for snow dump, for snow removal. And we cleaned that up last year, we just gotta haul the wood away, but over the years, I've noticed we're down there a lot, especially when it's dark. And we have 2 new residents in that area, we have no street light. So I got a hold of the power company, and we reviewed this in our committee. They gave us a price on 2 lights. One would go on the corner of Spruce and 3rd Street, similar to the arrangements we have now in that district down there. We have one at the bottom of the intersections, or one at the end of the intersections, and the other ones we have halfway up the block. So I asked them to give me a price on 2 lights. One at the bottom of the intersection, and then one halfway up 3rd Street, where we don't have them. And they would be on our right of way on this side of, it'd be the west side of 3rd and Spruce. And we're looking at about, depending on what you do, there's 2 options. You can go with 150 high pressure light, or you can go with the LEDs. And I thought, well, the LEDs are a little more expensive, but it would give you an indication of what those LED lights will bring.
Question for you, because on our printout here, it's incorrect, maybe, because you've got here that sodium is 63 and LEDs are 50, and I think it's the exact opposite.
No, the
Oh,
only
but it has
less
a
power.
paper? You got
They
a
use
paper?
less power.
Oh, but it's from
That is
power.
correct, that's correct.
That is correct? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, because the original quote I got from them. The original quote, I got the 50 watt, 150 watt LEDs were $58.44 per month.
Okay.
The 150 watt high pressure sodium was $63.34. So the LED, and what they're doing is basically charging, this is our monthly usage on their average, dusk to dawn. And that's how much difference there is in savings in those 2 lights. So, we could put those in, but that includes a pole, and what they've got to do is they've got to run wire all the way from the last light, if I'm not mistaken, is on the corner of 4th and Spruce Street. So they've got to run a wire to the light on the corner, and then they'll come in off of power from the alley and run it to the light on 3rd Street, middle of the intersection. And that would really light up that area. That is a dark area. There's a lot of people I see out at night or in the mornings walking their dogs, and luckily we haven't any problems. And we're down there in the winter, probably every 10, 15, 30 seconds with a dump truck. So it's something to think about, and if you're interested, we've got some time on it, but it's another food for thought that's gonna cost us some money, but it might, and if I had my way, I'd be interested to kind of see what those LEDs are gonna do, because I think eventually they wanna change all our lights, especially their lights on the residential LED. So that might be an option to look at.
So UP Power's gonna own the poles, they're gonna put them in, they're gonna pay for 2 additional lights, it's gonna be like, we look at the LEDs, it would be $58 a month per light or per light?
That's true.
2 of them. So that only adds $58 to our light bill, we'll have lights down there, plus we can see how much better these LEDs are gonna be than the sodiums, probably.
$58.33 a month.
Well, we have 5,000 in the budget for LED,
Right.
so I make the motion that we proceed with the 2.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so there's a motion then to proceed with the installation of it's 2 LED lights, right, Steve?
Yes, 2 LED lights, wiring and poles.
Okay, so.
I support that motion.
Okay, so that is Peggy and Sharon. Okay, because that's an expenditure, I'll do a roll call, so Jim? Yeah. Sandy?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Sorry.
I recall yours. Yes.
Peggy? And I'm a yes, okay.
And I'm a little confused getting back to the street sign. You said you have a single sign,
Yeah,
but
this,
if you're on the corner of 8th and Pine, how do you have a single sign?
the signs, one on top of each other. One's gonna be at 90 from the other. One's gonna be this way, and the other one's gonna be this way. See, the system they have now is the older embossed signs. There's a spike that goes through, and there's 2 signs. And they're strapped together, so each street had 4 signs at one location, so you could see through the spike. These are mounted on the top and the bottom, so that you don't have the interference.
And they're reflective.
Yes, they're reflective. They have, this company that I deal with has all different types of signs. But the more you get, the more we're gonna pay. Some of them are $100.
You said that the historic signs are more expensive. Do you think you could get a grant through the national park for historic signs?
Yes.
I mean, there was just something
Grants with the
about.
federal, with the budgetary problems of the federal government.
Well, no, this would come through the advisory commission, and they do have funds. I
I
can ask.
We'll check on that, and,
Yeah.
I was noticing today when I was sweeping the sidewalk, if you go to the corner, there's a metal shield at the base of the light pole, and it's rusted right through, and there's like a hole. Who replaces those shields? Because I think the wiring was all down in there.
Well, that used to be Bill's Electric, but seeing he's no longer, we're responsible for those, and I try to get those whenever I can. And most of that stuff, see how these poles are so old, they're outdated. And now whenever we get a pole replaced from the power company, they're all going back to wood. Because these things are about 8 times as much to replace that. And they'll put in a wood pole. We had one put on 9th and Portland Street last month. In fact, I got called on it the other day because we had an issue with, apparently when they put the pipe in, they found a storm sewer. So all the dirt is eroding from where they supported the pole, so well, they gotta come back and repair the storm sewer, put a new pole in. So that happens, it's not just us that runs into that kind of luck.
And then at our committee meeting, you wanted to put out on bids 47 Snowgo, the 2 gasoline trucks, and a dump truck possibly.
Yes,
But it was the previous council that agreed to that.
right.
Get rid of whatever he wasn't using. And do we need a new motion from this council or just continue on?
See, I think, I'm not sure the rules, excuse me, I gotta sit for a second. I'm not sure because of the rules, but I think anything over $500, we should, what I do, it would just be an advertisement for, like a typical used equipment, they'll say, the village Calumet is putting out for bids, can be seen, and then we give them a month to look at them. And then have your bids turned in such a date, and then we can open them and decide the winner. And, I'm not expecting a lot from this stuff, because it's just above scrap steel, and scrap steel isn't worth very much right now.
Steve, if you need to sit down, sit down.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm all in favor, and what I thought I'd do, if it's all right with you, now that we have that the parking lot by, the,
Family Dollar?
Family Dollar, thank you. I keep calling it Frackies, that's how far I but we would put them over there where they could be viewed, and if somebody wants to hear one, you know, we would, instead of having people walking around our backyard, I'd rather have them over there, at least they get seen. And they can call me for information on it. But that's probably what I do. I'd like to get rid of them, but I'm running out of space. I've got to, see, in the summer, I put my winter stuff outside, so I have room in the shop to do a lot of work. Some of the tear downs, when you tear something down, you've got it literally down to the chassis. You need the room to put all these spare pieces. And I can't do it with all those trucks in there. So it wouldn't be a bad idea, because I don't think I'll use them.
So do we need another motion to do that?
Well, he has the authority to do it. If you can always make another motion if you so choose.
I think he has the authority to do it.
I think it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I think what I would do is I could open the bids, a day before the next council meeting, and then I could bring you the results, and you can still pick and choose on what you want to do. So, I mean, I can just get the ball rolling for now, and then you still have final say in what you want to do. Okay?
That'd be good.
Yeah, well, and if they're just above scrap metal and you need to get rid of them, I don't need to micromanage you. I don't know how the rest of the people feel. Don't need stuff
Same
around.
thing, it sounds like having the space is worth more than what you can get from the equipment.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you had to give it away, it still need to,
Yes,
because you have the space to do the work that needs to be done.
I think they're not doing that.
No museums.
And then,
That's absolutely.
Steve never did receive the credit card that he was authorized
Right.
to have.
Okay.
The only problem I have is some of the purchase I have to make are with these companies, and a lot of them are not letting us take charge accounts anymore. So then I've got to take time to call Joel and ask him, you know, can you call this company and give them your credit card? And then he has to do it. So, and depending on what his budget is, you know, it could throw him out of a budget for that month, so. One of the people that live on 9th in Portland, they want to redo their driveway. Their driveway on this, it would be the northwest, it would be the north corner of Portland and 9th Street. They have
Green?
Abby, yeah.
Okay.
Abby Green and her husband.
Yeah.
They're redoing the curb. There wasn't originally, the curb was designed back then for the high cars. So the ramp up to the level of the sidewalk is this far. You know, these newer cars now, they've torn up some people's front ends. So what they're looking at doing is going from about 6 foot before the driveway, going all the way to the end of the street. They're gonna taper the sidewalk down to meet the driveway ramp and then back up. And they've sent me pictures of showing what they're gonna do.
Is it by the garage or the actual house?
It's by the actual house.
Okay, the garage is on.
The garage is on Main
Yeah.
Street. And this is what they're gonna do. And I told them I'm all in favor because it's gonna repair a whole section of sidewalk that we don't have. And anytime they have visitors, they park on that side of the street, they tear up their cars trying
So
to
you want
get
to
it.
take this out and put that in, which
Just
is
put a
the
regular
proper.
curb.
Similar, yeah, the only difference is they approach us way back here.
And there's no cost to the village.
No, it's not cost, they're doing the whole thing.
He's gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
See, at the edge is so deteriorated down here, there's really no sidewalk left, so they're gonna go all the way to the end. Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan.
I told him, I said, I'm all
Anytime
in
you
favor.
improve it.
Just a question, because of course, the sidewalks in the public right of way, should we approve, because they will be ripping up.
Yeah, let me,
Here, here you go.
Yeah, sure.
This is what it looks like, it's like a ramp they're just gonna make or decide that.
See, and they're going back to the original, which is a little wider than what it was before.
Yeah.
Well, no engineers.
Well, yeah,
But
but
see,
but
this
again,
If Steve thinks it's,
And this is what they're gonna do, similar, this one was another one done across
Okay.
the street. But their plan was to slope
I
this
see.
farther back, less of a pitch.
so
Yeah,
it'll look like this, a little better maybe.
Right.
but-
It won't be
Yeah,
sloped.
Well, yeah, I don't think it presents any risk of harm or what have
okay, so, yeah, that's fine, okay,
you, so, yeah.
all right, then just,
We know if we
okay.
have
I,
any, like,
you know, if you
inspectors
wanna make a
that we
motion
get,
to
we
approve
should
it,
bring
that's fine.
in to,
well, we
I'm
talked
just
about
trying
that.
to-
Yeah, we talked about that, and, he seemed to think that, we can call the inspector, our county inspector, and just see what they think. A lot of times they say, well, the sidewalk is kind of between the owner, you know, there's that fine line now, who actually owns the sidewalk, whether we do or the village, or the owner
the
does.
property owner, yeah.
Yeah, so we can talk, I can have, Abby and her husband talk to the inspector and see if he
I would
has.
rather see him do
Yeah, go
that
back to the old
Yeah.
before running
plat
into
that was
problems
recorded
after.
years ago.
But what
You know,
inspector
plat
is-
that built
I think it would
Should
be
be
maybe
there.
your county, I think
Find out
maybe your
whether
county.
property
County
owners
inspector,
are
yeah,
using
I would-
What kind of
sidewalk.
inspector, is it
And that
mechanical
would tell the
building?
story
or
what
is-
part of the-
Which inspector
And
is
you
it?
have to
I
look
guess
at
we
the
would
plat
call the
to see
county
if
and
there's
say
a
which one do
dedicated,
we need.
Yeah, because
sidewalk.
I've talked to Ken Harry, the engineer,
Well, if it's in the street, then, you know,
or are you?
that's part of the village.
And I've talked to him on different
Yeah,
issues.
just one conversation.
And it's usually, you know, well, you gotta get the county's permission, you gotta get the township permission, you gotta get the village permission. And to me, this is, you know, the county doesn't have to make sidewalks that they control. In the township, I don't think Paul has any concern on it. So I think that most of it's our responsibility.
That's what I was thinking, but double check with the county to make sure, so we don't run into problems down the road.
Especially when they're rebuilt,
Right,
yeah,
right.
But he's offering to do it
yeah.
at his cost, not ours, so
Yeah, we're not spending taxpayers' money on this.
Right.
just a thought.
Well, you could, I would say, yeah, I don't even think you need a motion on it, just upon a verbal approval from the county, if they have an inspector for cement, you know, because it's not really a road inspector,
No.
so there's kind of a gray area here.
I think
but
it's us.
I can talk to them, and if they've got nothing on it, then, you know, it's kind of throws it back into your court, and
If it's in the village, it may be subject to the village ordinance or building code anyway. And the county, of course, does the work, as I understand it, and has for the past few years. So the only issue is whether they feel under the code they have to take a look at it or not. If they have to take a look at it, they can send the building inspector out, but the building inspector is really working under the aegis of the village. Because it's in the village and it's under.
so if we have an ordinance or a code, he has to follow our code.
Well, and that's what he's doing right now.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a building inspector, and we decided, and the statute allows us to delegate that responsibility to the county, and the village thought that it made no sense to do that because it's cheaper. So the county inspector is inspecting for the village, and the village basically just, there's a common code that most municipalities follow, and it's just adopted in our ordinance by reference. So basically, they have the code, and they're working for the village, and if they feel that it's something they should look at, then they can come out and do it, because it's required. And if they feel that it's not something that is within the scope of their responsibility, then so be it. And these folks can proceed.
Well, I will check with them and see if there's a problem, and if he's got any questions, he can go over there. I mean, they've been more than willing to work with
Yeah.
whoever has an issue, so.
Yeah, I think they would.
Do you think we need a motion?
I don't think it would hurt to have a motion, so that.
I'll make that motion.
With approval
With
or
approval of
after hearing
county
from the.
inspectors and with you.
Just so they comply with the
Code.
Yeah,
Because they're only repairing, they're not
Yeah,
doing it
no,
up.
they put a whole new one.
yeah, putting a whole new
Oh, the
section.
whole thing in front of them. I'd say that's great.
Yeah,
Sandy, okay, so Sandy has made a motion that,
I'll second it.
okay, Verge, all right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Any other questions for Steve?
Yeah, I have a question. Did you ever hook up with that Levante to look at the clock?
yeah, we've got a phone tag, so
Oh,
I'm gonna try to get, yeah, it comes to time, you know, I mean.
well, yeah, everybody's busy and stuff.
And
so,
he's
yeah.
busy and.
He knows about it.
There's, I've been trying to keep on the spring stuff, and we're trying to get caught up, but it's not working, so.
That's fine.
The other thing I have for you as of now, I haven't done any measuring, but right now, for contracts alone, we have to look at how much money was brought in. Well, right now, if I'm not mistaken, we're getting about, $12,000 a year in contracts. Those aren't sidewalks, those are just strictly contracts, okay? Those are like,
They're private companies.
water contracts. They're private contracts, but some of it's on public land, like the water company pays for that whole alley, to keep that open. The washboard, they plow the snow in the piles, and then I pick it up at my convenience, or sometimes if there's not a lot of snow out, and we're not in like an emergency situation, they're allowed to plow it into the windrow while I'm picking it up, because that not only saves me time, but it keeps their parking lot open. We do that with a couple places. And those, I've got last year, I had 97 hours in the skid steer, the loader, and the 3 dump trucks, and then probably about 10 or 15 hours in the loader, or the snow load. Once we're fine, it doesn't get too costly until I'm blowing the snow dumps back. When I get to that point, and that's usually in the end of January, March, depending on the snow, then I have to move that snow through twice. You know, not only do we haul it from here, but then I've got to blow it at the snow dumps because I've run out of dead dump spots. And believe me, I've every spot that I can find around town that has an opening, I put dead dump in until we can't dump there anymore, you know? So we're looking at about $4,000 in expenses for the contracts that we bring in about 12. And that's not bad. That doesn't take a lot of time. The sidewalks, right now, I don't have any measurements, but the sidewalks, we're looking at the wages, 31.50 and 50 cents, actually 31.48 and 50 cents for wages for last year. And then equipment, $8,711.38. So I haven't gotten a square footage or a linear foot. We charge that at a different rate. We charge that linear foot.
Well, as you know, Steve, when we had our meeting, we supplied you with the ordinance number 105, which talks about the
I've got
charging.
that
Yeah,
here.
you got a copy of that?
Yep.
And it looks like when you figure out like what the cost should be per lineal foot, this, according to our ordinance, which is still in effect, it says it shall be subject to modification or amendment by resolution of the village council. So when you come up with a number where you're not losing money, it's fair, probably making a little money, make it cost effective, you let us know what it is and we'll take a look at it and we can amend this resolution, because probably right now you're losing money
Well, I think we've been losing money
for
over
a long
years.
time.
Because this is,
Well, this is
just a time
1979 and has
factor.
not changed. This
Right.
is a resolution, you know, and it
Right.
should have probably been looked at, you know, in
Well-
5 years or so.
And my concern over this is there is no, excuse the language, but there's no teeth to, if we sign a contract with somebody, you know, we just say, well, we're gonna charge you so much interest after you pay, until you pay that. Well, some of these, we haven't gotten paid in years, but we still gotta do those sidewalks. And some of them we're either eating them, or the EDA is paid for them, or somebody else is paying for them. And if we gotta pay for them, we're not making any
Right.
money. So it's kinda up to you,
Well, are there spots where you don't have to do the sidewalks and you just leave it as is? Or
not the downtown
Not the
district.
downtown?
No, that's not, just think about it, like Scott Street next to Copper World
Yeah.
and that vacant, most of that is not done.
Yeah, they called me last year and said they don't wanna pay for it.
Yeah,
So I didn't do it, but yeah, he was the first
I
one
think
to call
parts
me
of-
and wanted his banks cut.
like where Herman Flats is there
Yes.
on Sixth Street, you
Yeah.
guys don't do that, so no, they do cut back where they can.
Wherever, yeah, technically, and a lot of times like Fifth Street, it's more timely for that piece of equipment to get off the sidewalk, go down on the curb, and then try to get back up on the sidewalk. You know, it takes more time for him to do that than it is just keep going down.
Well, you know what might have to happen, and it's unfortunate, is just like we pay car insurance, we pay that extra fee for people that, are irresponsible.
Oh, yeah.
You might have to, factor in the people that don't pay, and everybody might, the ones that do pay might have to
Right.
figure it out, because that's just a fair way to do it, because it helps everybody.
Well-
Are the unpaid bills put like a lien on their property?
I think it goes on their
Or,
property
because I
tax,
don't think
yeah.
we can
It
add
does
it to
like
the property
garbage,
tax.
but they
Yeah,
don't.
garbage bills do, I don't know what happens with snow, I don't know what happens with snow.
Something
I
we
think
can-
they do the same thing, but, the county doesn't enforce it.
The county has a revolving fund, but they won't do it for snow. So,
Court
but it
garbage.
boils down to.
I'm just
is
thinking if
you
they,
have
if they
to
don't pay their,
hire a lawyer and sue them. And then when you take a judgment, you pay the lawyer,
Yeah.
then the judgment can be filed against the real estate. So if they're paying taxes and the property is of value to them, they eventually want to sell it, and you've gotten a lien judgment after suing, and you record it, they can't sell the property without paying your lien first. But,
I have a question for you. Instead of going that route, would it be to our benefit to take these bills that people aren't paying and just put them into like something like a credit service where, we get half and half and then
Yeah.
it messes
Yeah.
with the credit
Yeah.
forever? That's
Yeah.
a pretty successful
Well,
thing.
yeah, that
Because you
works.
can't get another loan for your
That works.
snowmobile, this or that, because you've got bad credit now. You'd be surprised at people that come up with the money. You're only gonna get like 50-50 and that's if it really smooths with them, but 50 is better than zero.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because all you do is do this, or you go like that, and they'll take care of it. Would that be something you would want to look at?
Yeah.
yes.
It's a real easy process, I used to do that work.
Any other
Now,
questions?
so, like, you have to send these people invoices that they don't pay.
Yes.
Steve, the
You don't
last
send
thing I
them an
had
invoice.
is,
Right, gotta do that first, right?
that spring cleanup, you
Yeah, we
said
talked
the
about
weekend in,
The week ending,
the last weekend
the
in
week ending
April.
at May 20th. That's when, was it Downtown Inc., or they're doing their, I think it's the 15th through the 20th.
I have a question for you. Okay, the 20th would be like a Friday, is that the
Yeah.
last day? Okay, remember how we talked about possibly getting volunteers and possibly getting a dumpster, and if you're a village resident with ID, like I'm willing to volunteer, I'm sure we'll get other volunteers. Pick a time slot, if you can get that thing over there, with proof, you can bring things over there, look at your ID. We'll do it for like maybe a 4-hour period or whatever, just to try to get this town cleaned up a little bit. I
That
don't
would
know if
be,
that's something you want to do, but I think that would be
I
a
think
good
we could
idea.
coordinate with, who's it, Lisa?
Leah, with Main
Yeah,
Street.
yeah, that would be great, because we could
Because
get,
I think they're doing it that weekend over there.
okay?
So that'd be Friday the 19th, Saturday the 20th.
I think
Sunday
their
21st.
thing is Saturday, and I'd like to work on the spring cleanup through that week for the residents.
Well, if we could get something on like a Saturday, say 10 to 2 or something, where people could bring their things that normally wouldn't get picked up, is that something we want to look at to try to
Oh,
clean
yeah,
the
fine.
place up?
And what Virginia's really referring to is to get a big dumpster. If you had a mattress you wanted to get rid of, if you had something you wanted to get rid of, you could just bring it and dump it in this thing and then we haul it away. I mean, we can go to Waste Management, find out how much a
Yeah, how
dumpster
much it
is.
is, and we can
Yeah.
get volunteers and,
Right.
check IDs and have them sign for that they were there,
Yeah.
like they do in other jurisdictions. I think that would help.
No, I think
people
that's
get rid of
something
their
to
stuff.
consider.
Yeah, so if you could kind of coordinate that and let me know, I'm more than willing to help.
Steve, would you like our committee to meet on Wednesday the 10th at 1?
Sure.
And then that'd be 10 days before the cleanup.
May
And then
10th?
we could, yeah,
Okay.
May 10 at 1 o'clock.
If Main Street is gonna do this and Leah's gonna be involved, maybe we could get a hold of Leah and she'd like to
Well,
participate.
Leah won't be available because she just had her baby, but there will be someone who will be in charge of, Lori, do you know who's in charge of spring cleanup?
I think Jamie, Thyron.
Yeah.
I think she is, but she's very new. I mean,
Yes.
Leah usually does it, but Leah, she has had her baby, so she's not
Right.
going to
She'd
be
love to
there.
get over.
I know it's not, thanks.
1 o'clock.
She's not.
1 on the 10th.
On the 10th?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We probably should authorize then spring cleanup. You want the dates the 15th to the 20th?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Ending that Friday, I think Friday would be the 19th, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, 15th to the 19th. Okay, let me ask you, that's just gonna be,
That'll be our final cleanup.
okay, that's gonna be branches, leaves, things like that, and then this, if we can get this dumpster thing going, we can advertise that as well, where you can bring items with proof of residency, and we'll try to help you out a little bit.
And we coordinate that
Yeah.
with Main Street.
Mhm.
And that's the 20th, so.
That would be the 20th, the dumpster, would they drop it in the morning and pick it
Yeah.
up?
well, and Main Street doesn't do anything like that. I mean, Main Street is
No.
basically
No,
going through
but
Legacy
we
Park,
can
yeah,
include
and
that.
so, okay, yeah.
And we're looking at the parking lot over by the Family Dollar, is that what we discussed?
Yeah.
Would be a good spot, that park.
That big part.
I think that would be a help to the community to do something like
And
that.
the only thing is though, this is what we have these in Eagle Harbor
Mhm.
every year, and we have metal dumpsters, the only thing we have to be sure to watch, and there's certain things that Waste Management won't take. Tires, computers, TVs, a lot of that stuff can't be taken. So then it's our responsibility to get rid of those, and those are usually costly. Other than the TVs and electronics, I found a place south of Holton that'll take them for nothing. So we can just deliver those up there.
Could we put in the app, let's see,
Yes, no batteries, no tires,
no batteries, no tires, just put
No
things.
paint,
No
yeah,
paint,
paint
yeah.
has to be dried, so,
We could just put excluding these things, because, yeah, we could do that. So you could maybe, we'll get an ad written up on that date as well. So you get the items that you know they won't take.
okay.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve spring cleanup between May 15th and May 19th?
That'll be our final week, after that, we'll recommend they take it
I'll
out.
second that.
Okay, George, is there any further discussion? Not, all in favor? Any opposed?
And then we were just gonna give him the credit card, you don't need a motion or anything? Okay, good.
And
Did
with
we
the
approve
sun.
the street signs? Did
Pardon?
we- did we-
No.
No, we don't.
We're
have
gonna
that.
check and see if there's any monies that we could draw down from the
Yeah,
Parker.
if you wanna spend more and do less, this company has all sorts of signs. I mean, I picked basically the cheapest and you're far away, these don't look too bad from what ours are. Ours are white with black lettering and they're embossed, well, we can't afford embossed signs anymore, plus they're not legal because they're not reflective, so. But they've got some nice signs out there, but do we need them? I think at this point, we just make them legal.
I agree.
But I wasn't clear, are you actually planning on retiring in September?
It depends. I see a surgeon a week from Friday, and he's probably gonna give me some recommendations. But originally I was gonna go out in September, and Rob was gonna take over. And I told Rob, if it's okay with you guys, that I would consider working in the winter for him, because I know he's gonna have some issues in the winter. Because that's usually the hardest time you don't plan work, you just do work. You can't plan a lot of things in the winter. It all depends on your weather. So I would stick around for Rob for a while, but I don't know, because I don't know the station does.
So you're recommending that we go with the signs and then like later on, if there's some districts that maybe can get a grant or whatever, we can make them a little more historic, we can.
It sounds like we put it off at least a month to see.
Yeah, we have one,
Yeah.
yeah, just
Okay.
Right, just
a little
to see,
time.
okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right, if there are no other questions, is there a motion to approve the street department report?
I'll make that motion.
Jim?
I'll
Okay.
support.
Sandy? All right.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Thanks.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Steve. All right, Keith.
Assuming you guys all got the March council reports, noteworthy complaints, and then leave Green takes the township tax paperwork. I guess I don't have a whole lot to present on that. I started in April. Me and Gene have gone over those, but the complaint was there's a couple acronyms on there that people didn't understand, so try to clear on the noteworthy complaints, we'll try to clear those up and spell them out, just so it's easier for everybody.
This phone scam, is that like the IRS? Because I got a telephone call, the IRS has a warrant for my arrest.
There are all kinds of things. I got one earlier, late last week, and it's obviously a scam, and you hear about it all the time.
Yeah, they said
They
to
want your
call
social
it
security number, et cetera.
844 number.
And then next year, if you've got a tax return that's due and you've got a claim for some money or something, they get in there before you and they get your refund.
Well, I just, the last time I got one, I said, that's a good one, and started laughing. And that, so, if anybody calls you from the IRS, they wouldn't be calling you.
No.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
you get a letter from the IRS.
So, I mean, other questions for Keith?
Let's see. What's a TOT?
Turned over to
Turn over to, PDA,
property damage accident,
LPB,
Lorraine Police Department.
those were the
Those are the
acronyms.
What an
acronyms.
MDOP, do you know what that is?
M,
MDOP, that's on there.
oh, I didn't see it.
There's
Let's
three
see.
of them.
There's three of them.
Three, let's see, no, what is
Right
that? Oh, MDOP.
Yeah.
Domestic something.
No,
No?
just malicious destruction of property.
Ah,
I mean, there's like OWI property on Oxia, I mean, I guess
okay.
this line of work is famous for shorting, knitting, cannot for
Because
How you
property
guys-
damage, okay.
A lot of person doesn't spell right, so they.
Okay,
I got a question. This is obviously, this is minutes. Did you check in with the township on doing the Bucky's down with?
that topic. I did briefly chat with Paul, and he just basically said the school parking lot, 6th Street, and, what was the other one?
Sweet Town.
Sweet Town, right. And, so that's
But
basically where it's at.
you didn't say about going down there.
He didn't, no, and I can double check, I'm sure. I'm sure, and obviously if that's something we, expanded to, obviously, we could discuss all that entails, I guess, at this point in time.
Keith, I have a question for you. One, I can't find it in all the papers here, but you have something that relates to that has like 10s and 15s and on the days. Oh, that.
That's time.
That's it, that's just like,
So that's like, is that 1.5 or that's not $15?
I
That's,
think it's 15 and a half.
15 and a half hours. This is what time on the days, that's what he get for cruising through.
Oh.
That's
I would-
built into the
I would
township.
imagine, yeah, I would
but then the
imagine you guys
total is
have
only
seen this.
15 point.
Doesn't the township give us 500 a month
I don't know the amount, but I
for
think we are getting something.
surveillance?
It's
and then-
6,000 a year, I believe.
So that's 500 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only two things, we usually officially remove the parking ban on the streets. So you would need a motion. I mean, I think right now you have been, I mean, just pretty much ignoring it because we haven't had any snow.
Correct,
Yeah.
and even if there was, I think, I had talked with Steve too, and I just asked him, even with the upcoming weather too, he's like, we're
Yeah.
probably not pulling the plows out, even if it was enough, he said, it's not something we need to worry about
Yeah.
as far as removal of vehicles, so.
Yeah, so we normally, actually last month, we would normally have eliminated the ban on parking on the street overnight. So is there a motion to allow people to park on the streets overnight?
I make a motion.
Sandy, all right, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Sharon, all right, thanks. All right, if there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then there's part-time officer pay. I don't know, have you guys discussed that yet, or like personnel?
Well, that's when we get to, do you want me to do that now, the public safety meeting, as long as we got a police officer here? Because
yeah,
it's
why
so
don't-
pertinent. Is
yeah,
that
why-
okay with you guys?
Yeah, why don't we do it now?
Okay, because we had a meeting on April 12th, and we discussed, the police budget, we discussed the 302 monies, people, that's for training. I think, does everybody understand what that is? You get a chunk of money from the state for training. If you want to explain it more, you can. Another discussion was, our new police chief has to order a vest, you have to have a vest, it's, standard fare. We told them, you only have one shirt, you gotta have two shirts, just basic stuff, because you just have to have those things. Other police needs were discussed as well, and it would be part of his budget, I guess, he needs, ammo, and he needs, probably at some point kind of department, gun, handgun. Those were discussed, he said he could get one fairly reasonable, do you want to discuss that?
Yeah, the handgun, last, and this is from, I guess, my prior experience dealing with Michigan police equipment, they're, Lansing or Charlotte, one of the two downstate, but they're roughly around, $350 to $370 or so for a big Glock 40 cal pistol. So, like I said, they're pretty reasonable, through, it's a department price, so we obviously buy it with, through the department loan it. I guess like this gun I purchased it with an officer price, which it came in at like $398 or something like that. So it's a little bit more for an officer price versus a department price. As far as the vest that you had mentioned, I just created an account with it's Bulletproof Vest Partnership. It's like a grant, federal grant. I don't know the lead time, but I started looking at the vest prices, and we originally talked about $500-600. Like this particular vest I'm wearing is almost $1,000 in the sheriff's office. So I was like, obviously, before I went ahead with any old vest, obviously, take a look at pricing, and with that, with the grants and stuff out there, like I say, I had heard previous at a grant could be like 18 months out before you even be reimbursed for it. So right now, I'm just kind of dragging my feet on the whole vest thing just to see where I get first to the feds with the grant or the grant partnership, and go from there. That would be a 50% match for that. It wouldn't be 100%, but it'd cover 50%.
How long can you keep that vest? Is there any time limit? I mean, you
Well,
say
this-
it's back? at any point in time here?
Well, basically, it's expired. At some point, that's what it comes down to. It's not a matter of they take it back. They don't, it's not good. It's like I think usually the companies can take them back or whatever and they destroy them. Once they're past the expiration, they don't.
So how long is the rest good for, approximately?
I thought it was 3 years. It's so 3 to 5 years. Those are the two numbers that ring a bell. So.
So that's something that
So it's
3 to 5 years down
the
the road, we'll have to do another one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's obviously through liability. I would imagine through manufacturer. They're going to set an expiration date on them.
I'm curious, why is there an expiration date? You think that
It's insurance
something that's
liability.
proof against bullets wouldn't fall apart in 3 years, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not when you're wearing it anyway.
I mean, I would say anything expired is better than nothing, obviously. That would be my,
It's like shoes or anything else. If you're wearing it every day, there's going to be some wear. It's a liability thing. They seams and stuff.
and I think somewhat the materials do start to deteriorate, I guess, you know, I mean.
Just like a life jacket.
Oh,
They were,
But,
yeah,
good question, and obviously, I mean, yeah.
it's a liability thing, if you
It
know.
seemed like the meeting was moving along too fast, so I thought I'd.
Oh, you did?
Good point.
Stop that. Well, you know, if it's 18 months out, you know, he's gonna need a vest, you know, I mean, that's just a liability issue for the village, you know. They're probably right, you can get one maybe for $500-600, maybe.
Well, that's what I had said originally, is that through the committee, we had talked about going ahead with one, and then I looked at pricing, and this particular vest I'm wearing, it's like a point blank vision, has a store shield, so like an electronic device that can basically, I guess, zap you, like similar to a taser, it stops that as well, so it has, I mean, things built into it that work, and like I say, it was around $900, so I was like, well, it's more than we had originally talked in the committee meeting, so I started looking at other options to try to go with something similar still, if it's possible, so I guess that's where I'm at with that.
Well, you need it, you know, you're gonna have to decide what's the best vest for you. 18 months out, maybe in 5 years, if you apply it in 18 months, 2 years or whatever, somebody might need a new one by that point in time, you know, because you gotta have one.
Right.
You gotta have it.
All right, what else do you have, Virginia?
Excuse me?
What else do you have on?
Okay, we discussed that, we talked about the time clock, and boy, I'm not sure the time clock makes any sense. I look back at previous people that used the time clock, and they really didn't use the time clock, they used the time clock cards and they hand wrote on them, so what's the point of the time clock? Plus, if you know, get into the office and you're immediately getting called out, you know, there's gonna be times where it's just busy, you know, we gotta put some faith into our priorities, so I'm deeming the time clock obsolete and gone. I don't know how you rest of you people feel.
I think for all employees,
Yeah,
it
all
should be
employees,
done.
that's like whole stuff. Now, Steve, when we talked to Steve liked it for his part-time people, and that's entirely up to Steve, but for, like in the office here for Joe or for me or for our police chief, it absolutely doesn't make any sense, especially if you're handwriting. Makes no sense, so, you know, that's something that probably.
But if we get, where we get lots of employees, you might want to go back.
Lots of employees.
I think the
I'm
accountability
being a smart aleck.
Yeah.
That things are gonna go so good, we're gonna need more and more
smart
have to
aleck.
use it. Yeah, personally, as a past business owner, I like the time clock. That's just.
Maybe we should let the department heads.
Yeah, the
Just
department
let the
discussion,
discussion.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of, I mean, at the end of the day, when you sign, we do dailies at the department, and you're gonna sign your name on the time you started your shift and time you ended your shift, and that's technically a legal document, can be subpoenaed into court and everything else. I think your integrity falls with that signature, so that would be how I would approach it.
Yep, absolutely.
And obviously, we also check in with their dispatch at the start and end of your shift, you know, so they can notify if a complaint's either pending or happening at that point in time. So obviously, the checks and balances are in place, and then obviously with me, say we were to get a lot of employees in the police department, I think that'd just be something I can make sure is going smoothly and don't have any problems with that.
You know, it came up about part-time.
Yeah, I just asked again.
Is there a rate that, you know, what's the going rate in the county for part-time officers? Do you know? Have you
I
checked?
think,
Other
I guess I'd have to, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office part-time, I think are 18, so high 18s, almost $19 an hour. Lorraine Village is, last I heard is, no, they're 18, 30 or something, 18,
Lake Linden
50.
is 16.
Lake Linden, I think,
Yeah.
around 16.
So everybody's 18, but they put them 16.
Yeah,
We only have one part-time officer, right?
correct, at this point, yes.
And that, I'd like to just have it stay at the rate and keep who we have in place as a part-time
Okay,
officer
you
because
wanna
of his
leave it
experience.
$16?
We've never established 60, but
Well,
we
no,
can make it 60.
he's,
Or do you want,
Gene Thornton was receiving 19.
so do you want to leave it at 19?
Well, if it's
How does that work with the
18,
budget?
30 in
I
other
guess I don't even
departments.
know what are,
It's something we really got to work on.
I would say let's hang on to that. I'm not opposed to paying people well, even part-time, but at the end of the day, I don't even know what our budget is, I don't know what our.
We can sit down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, I would prefer we, discuss the budget and I do that entirely because obviously we established 19, coming up here in the future, actually hopefully tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get an ad in the paper for part-time police officers, MCO certified part-time police officers. I guess the objective at this point is maybe somebody not so close home or maybe somebody close home and they don't know we're looking for part-time, I'd at least get the word out a little bit further than right in front of me, so.
Right.
I think, with that moving forward, if we're gonna, if we're gonna establish $19 an hour, not knowing where the budget is at,
Yeah.
and then if we're looking at hiring people and they're wondering, and I think let's get our ducks in a row first, given, we could be adding to the personnel roster over there, so.
So do you want-
I don't know what the village's budget happens to be. Dave has been working on it before Joe was hired.
Yeah, I think it's 95,000.
But I think you have to be really careful. I mean, you can't spend money we don't have.
Right.
It'd be nice to have 2 or 3 part-timers and cover lots and lots of hours during the week. But I think we have to be sure that the village can stand that, given its other obligations and so on. And I'm not sure that that's the case right now, but.
Yeah.
Just to add to that too, we're budgeted, from what I was told, is for 40 hours a week, but I don't know what the rate of pay was at $16 an hour, like, I think you might have brought something up in the office the other week. So like if those numbers support $16 an hour, obviously we don't have any room to go any higher for anybody,
We're speculating at the moment. I think people have to sit down,
Yeah, no,
look at the
we'll-
numbers.
Correct, no, that's correct, I'm just saying, that's what I've been kind
Yeah.
of advised of at least at this point, so.
Okay. But should we just continue with the rate we're paying
Yeah, I mean,
now?
Gene had
the
been
part-time,
authorized,
because-
Gene had been authorized 19. If you're
Right.
content to leave it at that, then.
Because we may not
And-
be.
The only problem is if
Retire.
we're going past budgetary things, like if that pushes me to August, I'm gonna lose coverage because of that, because to keep the rate of pay. I'm not saying Gene doesn't deserve it, I'm just saying, but if that kills the budget through the long term for mine, but I still gotta look at the whole year and make it through that year.
I think you have to make some tough decisions. If you pay people a lot of money, you aren't going to have as much equipment as you might want. So
Well,
there's
let's
gonna be
leave,
some trade-offs there.
let's
You
leave
have to
Gene at
decide
19 for the month.
what
Yeah, and then
is
you're
most
never
important to you.
then
Then work the budget.
Yeah.
Right, so our committee meeting, obviously, we can sit
Well,
down and
yeah, we'll set
discuss
that.
everything in full and actually know where we stand.
Okay.
I have a couple of more issues. One of them is we discussed, like, hopefully we're gonna be passing our blight ordinances or some of the ordinances we have on tap tonight. And I'd like to see our police chief, be very involved with that. He's agreed to that, right?
Yep.
And, we can work on that as a committee, if we can get this thing passed and, kind of gel that up a little bit. He's You know, he thought that was a good idea. Now, I have one other issue that needs to be discussed about public safety. When we okayed our new chief's contract, it was under the understanding that we were going to give him a snippet of cash to buy medical insurance, and it was supposed to be, we all thought, out of the employee benefit budget. I have talked to Jackie Balto, and she said, you have to take it out of the police budget, but she said it's an easy fix. She said, all you have to do is transfer,
You amend the budget.
transfer that money we're paying him into his police budget so it doesn't deplete him. So I want to make a motion to do that, transfer the money that we pay for his, hopefully we don't have to do that forever, because that seems to be kind of a problem. So it's not going to cost any more money, it's just a matter of, you know, we don't want to deplete the, yeah,
Okay,
moving money.
so your motion is to amend the budget to remove funds related to insurance into the police budget.
Into the police budget, because right now, because he's paying for it, we're not cutting the check.
Right.
It's coming out of his budget, and we're not gonna deplete his budget.
Okay.
So we're gonna do
I think
that.
it's insurance and retirement, come out of the separate line item.
Excuse me? Well, anything to do with employee benefits,
Oh, yeah, no, I was
yeah.
just making sure, just so.
Yeah, see, that would come out of employee benefits, because this is the only issue we're giving it to you for you to pay. So
Correct,
that's
yeah.
why it's coming out of the police.
The police budget.
Yeah, so I make that motion that we just transfer the money that we pay him monthly for him to buy insurance as opposed to us paying for the insurance into his police budget.
Okay, is there a second?
second it.
Sharon, all right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, is that it, Virg?
I'm done.
Okay, well then I would need, number one, a motion to accept the, sorry? Oh, yeah, yeah, I guess it's an amendment to the budget, let's do a voice vote. Jim?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Virg?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, so. All right, and then is there a motion to accept the police department report first?
I make that motion.
Peggy? And is there a second?
I'll support.
Sandy? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? And then, Virg, that was your public safety committee report?
Yeah, that was public safety.
So is there a motion to accept the public safety committee report?
I accept the public safety report.
Okay, is there a second?
Support.
Jim? Okay. Jim, yeah, got it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next, fire.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Right, so for the month of March, we as a fire department had one mutual aid structure fire call. We were dispatched to Liberty Street for a fully engulfed structure fire. Calumet Township requested us and Loyang Village for mutual aid. We were dispatched on March 18th at about 7:30 p.m. We cleared the scene at about 10:30 p.m. Unfortunately, the house was a total loss. Due to kind of the proximity of different fire hydrants in the area, we were more or less there for manpower, not for our ability to pump water onto the house, just because all the hydrants in the area were either frozen or tied up. So that was the fire calls for the month of March. Kind of digging into the fire department a little bit. Earlier this year, we applied for a grant through FEMA to purchase 6 new air packs. The air packs we're going for are carbon fiber tanks. They have a 15-year life limit. They're significantly lighter than the current steel tanks that we have. The only issue with the 15-year life limit is the NFPA, which is the National Fire Protection Agency, limits that due to hydrostatic testing. Every 5 years, our air tanks, actually every 5 years, air tanks, and every 6 years, every 12 years, fire extinguishers per NFPA, 1102 or 1000 are required to go through hydrostatic testing, which then kind of lets us know that this air pack or this fire extinguisher can withstand this pressure for, I think it's a minute long.
Who does that testing?
Currently in the area, we use Calumet Fire Sales and Service, so tap over. I believe he has the account here for the fire extinguishers. We also use him for hydrostatic testing for our air tanks. I believe he's the only one in the, I guess, how do you want to say it, in the affordable area. The next closest one where they actually kind of have an agreement would be Lummi Fire Service in Marquette. They have, Lummi and Calumet Fire have an agreement where Calumet Fire takes care of all the hydrostatic testing and all of the fire extinguishers in the area. Lummi Fire Services out of Marquette takes care of servicing all the bugs. So Calumet Fire is pretty much our only place we can go and get this done. We are pretty diligent on trying to get it done, but I mean, we might miss it within a year, but there's nothing too major.
What's the cost to do that?
Oh,
Approximately, I don't know exactly, like, cause that's not every 5 years, you said?
every 5 years.
Every 5 years, so is it thousands, hundreds?
It is 40, it's $30 or $40 for our air tanks, it's $30 or $40 per tank.
Oh, that's reasonable.
So what I'm trying to do with both being the secretary, I'm kind of trying to get into the realms of being equipment officer. I want to try and get, we have 2 trucks, both fully stocked with air tanks. I want to try and do 1 truck on year 1, and then maybe year 3 hit the other truck. Just so we're not all of a sudden every 5 years getting this big bill for hydro testing.
That's good to do, yeah.
And what is your name?
Joe, Hannon,
Oh, okay.
You're the secretary, the treasurer of the fire department?
both.
Both?
Yes.
No. Well, I have to tell you, I had a little incident with you guys are awesome. I had a little furnace problem, and it was horrifying, and they showed up and gave me moral support. I was really upset, my plumber, you guy came, and boy, what you do, you guys come out, and you were there like right away, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And you guys do a good job.
Okay, any other questions for Joel? If not, is there a motion to accept the fire department reports?
I make a motion to accept the fire department report.
Sharon, is there a second?
Awesome.
Sandy? All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Let
you.
us know if you need anything.
Will do.
Okay, Joe, on the office report?
The only thing I have for the office is actually a request from the committees that haven't established a recurring meeting date for public works, finance, public safety, personnel, ordinance. If you could establish a monthly date, so it's like second Tuesday every month, whatever, and we'll be able to publish that and out on the wall just outside the door. We have a few of the other ones. And then if there's a change or an update to that, then we'll just update that. Obviously, if there's additional meeting, like there's a number of personnel meetings, something like that, we'll post those. But this will make things a lot more predictable for everybody else, I think.
Is it okay if we decide this when we have our next meeting and then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great, thank you.
That's what
The other thing I'll mention too is next Tuesday, May 2nd, remember Scott McGinnis is
He's gonna be
here.
here.
Yeah, so I believe that's 6 PM, yeah, it's next Tuesday, May 2nd, so.
Do you have a time yet?
I think it's 6 PM. 6 PM. And it's, I believe, 90 minutes. So, all
Very good.
right, any questions for Joe? Okay, if not, is there a motion to accept the office report?
I'll make the motion.
Sandy? Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Birch? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this order to correct public health code violations. Penny, what, I guess I don't know what that is.
As I was looking through the minute book, I just saw that the health department can be a good support network for us, because back in 2007, when there was a problem, they sent a notice that to the property owner that the garbage and problem needed to be rectified within 30 days. And so I spoke with Tanya Rowe at the health department, and she said they're primarily concerned with sewer, water, and garbage, that for our pigeon problem, we should look to our local ordinances and that. So I'm personally very concerned about the pigeon droppings and the pigeons going in some of our vacant buildings, that we could have an infestation if they die over the summer and that. So I just thought that was interesting, that we can call them if we have a problem and don't know how to handle it.
Well, would it be a good idea if if you see a building and the windows are open, everything's not secure there, and you see pigeons going in it, just, call the health department and say on this address, on this street, there's a vacant building or a building where they're not taking care of it, and we think it's it's like a health risk, and,
They won't do anything about the pigeons.
No, but the pigeon droppings, every pigeon has to drop, okay? It's just the way it works. It isn't like the pigeons that are living there, it's just the filth they create.
That's interesting.
Because I'll give you an example, the depot, probably 10, 15 years ago, the building inspector actually got involved in this one as well as the health department. There was in an area in that building that was more than 4 feet, we're not saying 4 inches, but 4 feet of droppings of different kind, and they were ordered to clean it up. It was terrible. So, you can't use them if you think there's a problem in that.
Okay.
So you're the one who put this in here?
Yes, thank you. Just because I read it and I thought, look at it.
Thank you for doing that.
So then, okay, moving on to Medical Marijuana Facilities Licensing Act. I think Joe has given you information on that act, and I believe Tyler has followed up with that too. So we'll be scheduling an ordinance committee meeting to come back to the council with a recommendation. If you do nothing, then obviously anything related to medical marijuana is, not allowed in your village. And I'm going to take a leap here and kind of assume we probably will not pass an ordinance, in which case I think you need to inform. And I don't know if there's any sort of grandfathering, but the existing dispensary within the village would have to be informed that after December, they would not be a legal business within it. So, yeah.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, there'll be comments at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
So, yeah, so just hold your thought. All right.
Okay, so that's being referred to committee. I'm checking Hancock, and it's like, you can't have a facility within 1,000 feet of a school or a church. There's guidelines. I don't know if it's a church or a 500 feet for one and 1,000 for the other, or if they're both 1,000. I haven't needed to know, so.
Yeah, do you want to set up an ordinance meeting date, Dave, tonight?
Yeah.
You want to do that, so we, doesn't fall between the cracks there?
Could we do it next Friday, May 5th, week from
We
Friday?
could do that, maybe, that's okay.
And Tyler is also on that.
Yeah,
meeting.
Tyler's also on, that's okay, May 5th, what time?
I think Tyler's better in the afternoon, so let's say 3.
Okay, 3 o'clock, and we're gonna have an ordinance meeting, and we're gonna
Yes.
discuss this and other
Yes.
ordinances,
Yes.
okay?
All right.
So then the public can know too, because, it's open to the public.
I mean, I'm a dispensary owner, so I'd like to be part of that. I don't know.
You can-
No, it's
That's
a public
why I did that.
meeting. It's a public meeting,
yeah,
so you're
absolutely.
welcome to
Fine.
come.
Okay.
Yeah, you can come, that's why I wanted to set it up so you know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, so then for the planning commissioning and zoning board of appeals, it's just basically if you know people who are interested in serving on either of those committees, please have them submit a letter of interest. Zoning board of appeals, you must be a resident of the village. That is not true of the planning commission, so.
Because didn't we just appoint Chris Green
Right.
a couple months ago?
Is that to the, what did you mention to?
The planning.
Plan. Okay, can I make a comment about this? I read this ordinance because it was in our packet, and, okay, there's the zoning, then there's the planning, and what I thought was interesting, that the main function of the planning commission is, it shall be the function and the duty of the planning commission to make and adopt a master plan for the physical development of the village for the purposes and intents and matters set forth So, you know, we got
That's
a
why we
planning
need it,
committee.
right,
Do
right.
we need to spend 16 grand on a
Yes.
master plan?
Yes.
Well, then what is there gonna be?
The
their
planning
function?
committee, once a master plan is drafted, the planning committee then goes through it line by line.
Okay,
and
so that's,
determines-
so it's a trickle down,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Because I'm reading this and it seems like redundant,
right.
but it's not. Okay, I wanted that clarified.
All right, so next you have the DDA minutes. And in there, the DDA recommended appointing Leah Bolzine to the DDA, and that needs council approval. So is there a motion to appoint Leah Bolzine to the DDA?
I'll make that motion.
Bruce, all right.
Well, we have to keep track of whose terms, because they're staggered.
Right.
And I think some expire in a different month, like Lori, I think yours is like in August on the DDA, but
Yeah,
if
no,
you have
we'll put
that
together,
stolen
right,
from,
we'll put together a term,
yeah,
terms, because you're right,
because
we
some
do
need to
need
be from
that.
the downtown and some need to be the residential,
Right.
and they can't all expire at the same time.
Right, no, they
Okay.
are staggered, so, all right.
So, do you know whose position she's
This is a
filling?
this is a vacant position right
For-
now. Mary Forsberg's position is open, and Boone Fiala's position is open, so.
So there's two
There's
spots.
2 vacancies.
Okay,
that's
but
correct.
because she isn't in the village, then she'd have to be Mary Forsberg's replacement.
Right, there isn't the same requirement for, that you
You
have to
don't
live
have
in
to
the
be a
village,
business owner.
right?
you can
Well,
just
there's
be
some,
anybody.
two have to be,
Right,
there's different guidelines.
right, yeah, and there are, but,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be Mary Forsberg's position.
Okay.
Now,
Right, so,
can
okay.
I add one thing here? We get the meetings, we get the minutes of these.
Can we go through the motion
Sure.
first, if you don't
Yeah.
mind? Okay, so we've got a motion, can I get a second?
Which motion?
For lead.
This
for
is
Leah.
to appoint Leah
We already
to
did that,
DDA.
didn't
Yeah,
No, we
Who
appointed.
made the motion?
yeah, so there's a motion to appoint Leah to the DDA, is there a second?
Who made the motion?
I did.
Virg did.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, Sharon? Okay,
Okay.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now, Virg.
Okay, you know, in order to make decisions and learn more about it, what I would like included with like the DDA and possibly the Historic Society, like on the DDA for instance, you know, we know they have a money market, we know that there's grants that are given out, we know all these things, but we never see said things. I would like something every month along with this, maybe from Mr. Snow, since he's the administrator, to let us know what the fund balance is in the money market account, who's applied for, say, a mini grant or a grant to do things, maybe let us, you know, give us a picture of what people are doing, so we have
We
some accountability.
I don't see them, but we usually do get fund balances.
I think I asked for the DBA
I've
register.
never seen a fund balance.
No, it's always been in the package, but we'll get it for you.
No, what is in
Yeah.
the package is, like, because of Corinne, she's given us something where it says transferred from money market X amount of dollars and then paid out X amount of dollars from it to pay bills, but I've never seen something where it says, what is the balance?
Yeah, and we can get that for
And
you.
then information on people that are getting these grants, because I want to learn more about what goes on in this village, and I think we're kind of, it's not as transparent as I like it to be.
Okay, that'll be done.
Okay, thank you.
So, okay.
So is that on the DDA?
Yes.
Okay, so is it a motion to get a DDA register of transactions every month? And then I'd like to see all the offers before they're summarily rejected come to the council, so before.
When you say an offer, I mean, what's
Like
that?
a-
If they get offers on
Oh,
property,
okay.
then we also get to look at it.
Right, just so we know what's going on.
Okay,
Because
that's fine.
that was that one party that said their offer was turned down, but we had
Oh,
no idea
Yeah.
what the terms were and why it was turned down,
Yeah.
since we don't want to be in the real estate business if we're not using it for municipal
Oh, yeah, no, that's,
government.
yeah, that's fine.
So does there need to be a motion so that the offers come?
Oh, just more information, we
Okay.
just like more information,
Yeah, we can get
what's
that.
going
Yeah,
on.
we'll give that to you, so you want, yeah, that's fine.
And then I also like every executed contract, like now we have a contract with our chief of police, but I haven't seen the final fully executed contract.
Like signed contract, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, I just, you know.
I mean, I'd like to know what kind of contracts the final document is
Yes,
for, like, we pass rules of procedure.
yeah,
Well, what's the final look
Oh,
like?
okay.
Because there was a couple suggestions, and I don't know if they were incorporated. I don't know, I had heard that there was an executed contract with you, Joe, but I haven't ever seen it. But we're looking at something different, but the motion had been, if that didn't work, to go to the other candidate. So I don't know where we're at, because I haven't seen the paper
okay.
trail.
All right, I'll get that for you.
Can I ask one other question on number, on the agenda here, it says number 4, it says patrons of the Calumet bar using the DDA parking lot and disposing of their trash. Does that mean they have their dumpster on the DDA property?
Yes.
Yes. So you want them never to park there, and you don't want the dumpster on there, is that what you're looking for
Well, no,
there?
I mean, they shouldn't be infringing on DDA property.
Okay. Has she been talked to about this?
I don't know, I have to find out.
Isn't the lot for sale right next door? Maybe
Yeah.
she
That's
could-
the one we're looking
Maybe
at.
she should buy the lot,
Yeah.
and then she could be on her lot.
I couldn't tell you what it's listed for.
Does anybody know, do you know what it's listed for, Lori?
I don't know for sure, and, you know, it's hard to speak outside the DDA right now, and it's hard for me to speak for the DDA, so maybe you should come to a meeting.
I plan on that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other questions? All right, if not, is there a motion to accept the DDA minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Sandy? All right, is there a second? Jim? All right, thanks. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we've got the HDC minutes. Any questions on those?
I think it sounded really good that 4 of the properties that were on the most dangerous buildings are removed. So how many do we have left? 8 dangerous buildings?
There's 12 with roofs or partial roofs, we were told, 2 meetings back when they did the drone.
Oh, partial roofs, that's all.
Partially with no roof or partial roofs, like holes in roofs. There's 12 buildings in the downtown district. What was it? Was it 5th and 6th Street only? Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's some pretty distressed buildings in this town.
definitely,
Mm.
definitely. So, right, if there are no questions, then is there a motion to accept the HDC commission minutes?
Okay, did anybody look at the paper that we received from Chris Green?
Chris Green.
Yes, I'm looking for it right
Yeah,
now.
I can't find it.
I know I have it.
Okay, let's see here.
What he's looking for is support from the village council for the HDC to pursue the demolition by neglect ordinance, which is in effect through the HDC.
What is?
To start processes for, sort of like the ordinance, you know,
Do you have a copy of the ordinance, the demolition or neglect ordinance?
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, because I don't remember seeing that one in our list of ordinances. Unless the
That would be in with,
No, that's.
That'd be the dangerous buildings.
That would be under dangerous buildings? Okay.
it's in, under that, Calumet Historic District.
Well, you know, that's something we have to discuss at our ordinance meeting, because we have a lot of ordinances on the books. I talked to Mr. Tricia about that, and I thought it might have been a good idea to make all of our ordinances like civil infractions, but he suggests that we take maybe a half a dozen of like ones that are important at this point in time, because there's a lot of old ordinances, and try to amend them and then run them past him.
So we can't go over all the ordinance, obviously,
No.
it's a big job, but there probably, one or two or three or four ordinances that are more important than others. That at least the subject matter that is related to the ordinance is important. So go through the ordinances and maybe take the two or three at a time, find the ones that are most important, at least the subject matter, and think about them and so on, and decide what sort of problems there happen to be with the existing ordinances, and then maybe one or two ordinances at a time we can work them up and improve them and bring them up to date and adopt a new ordinance to replace an old ordinance in each case. Get some.
And to Sandy's point.
Something that's 20 or 30 years out of date or what have you, but we should think about things that can be enforced, that are practical and so on. That should be the emphasis.
Okay.
Because like with the ordinance here for the HDC, they would like to send out letters to the buildings that the HDC had looked at who are in disrepair. And basically, what we're looking for is the support of the village council. If it's in a motion, that you agree with us to work on this.
So, I don't know what the process is or how the agency is comprised of this kind of thing. But, you can educate me on that a bit at some point in time this summer. And if there's a problem with the existing ordinance, maybe we can address it by amending or replacing the ordinance. But I also talked with Virginia at the same time as I did about ordinances. And basically, my conclusion has always been, if there are properties in the village that you think are a problem, you gotta find some money, buy the property, have the money to tear it down, and that's the solution to the problem. I don't think you're going to get very far by sending notices or angry letters or this or that to people. Many of these folks are probably going to let the properties go for taxes anyway, and some of them may be happy to see them gone for taxes sooner rather than later. So.
Can I ask you a question that kind of relates to that? Okay, if somebody lets a building go for taxes, now that the county treasurer has, okay?
Yeah.
And they give us an option to take that property or not, which we're not gonna take. Okay, do they have a responsibility then to, if it's dangerous, to take it down? No?
They don't take these buildings down. They know.
But do they have if it's deemed a dangerous building? I should probably talk to
If they were the owner of
Right,
record,
yeah, I would
they
talk to
yeah.
Kathy Brady, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not going to render opinions
Yeah, it seems like a
on
catch-22.
county business.
So anyway, Sandy, what are you looking for?
What we're looking for
Say right
is
now.
support from the village council so that we can proceed with sending those letters and working on some of the
It says
bad
that
buildings in town.
the initial letter will state the known serious problems, and
Right.
the HDC and the county building inspector will meet with the owners to come up with an action plan.
We're talking
So basically-
them, you know, probably. Well, it's not
So
gonna hurt
can
if you can get one person to do something, you know, better than nobody.
I think it's worth asking
Yeah.
the township
It's better than
whether
doing nothing.
some of these
Yeah.
properties are subject to past due taxes and so on. You get some idea about whether or not the owner has any serious intent to continue to own the property for one reason or another, or whether the property is a year or two behind on taxes right now. If it's a year or two behind on taxes, the handwriting is on the wall. They want somebody else to take the property off their hands. And so it's worth making a list of the properties, getting some idea of who the owners are, and checking with the township to see whether or not they're past due taxes. That'll give you an idea of what the status of
See,
the property
then
is.
then it says, if the property owner fails to respond, then the demolition by neglect proceeds to the next level, legal action.
Okay, that's called money, like you just
That-
discussed.
so
Yeah,
we-
so,
money.
so I
so
just,
basically-
I like the sending the letter and seeing if you can talk and try to correct whatever the problems are, but legal action, I don't know if we have the money or our.
There's another group that's
proceed.
formed with him, too bad Chris couldn't be here tonight, that they're looking at grant money to go after, to be able to pay to do this.
Should we, I think we should support sending the letter and hopefully we can get, Chris Green here next meeting to give a presentation on what is, maybe grants or an motion or whatever like that, because, you can do all the work, but if it comes down to us having to pay the bill, it's off the table.
And he has more knowledge
Yeah, you
than
can
what
get
I do,
knowledge than.
Do you
for me to
want,
give the report.
do you want any action tonight, or?
We just want your support for us to start
Okay.
the first step.
Well, letters, just letters,
It
yeah.
depends on the tone of the letter. I saw one and it seemed really harsh.
Wow.
Do you think people that have neglected properties are, the category?
These are the same properties that you're talking about that are vacant, that the birds are flying in.
right,
They get
so-
how harsh do you want to be or not be?
I don't think you're gonna
No, but I
hurt
mean,
their
maybe
feelings.
send a nice letter that you want to work with somebody, they're more likely
No.
to be willing to meet with you, don't you think?
I disagree.
I think it's time,
Your time is
for
for
tough, like you said, tough love. It's time for people to step up.
Because if it's warm and fuzzy, they'll do nothing for another 10 years. If you say, this is gonna happen if you don't do this, we can see if they're gonna do something or not gonna do something.
Okay.
That's my opinion, but I'm going to 7 here, so that's your opinion.
Yeah,
Okay, good?
We like to be.
Everybody supports it?
Yes.
sending an initial letter
Yeah.
and trying to meet with them. That paragraph 2 of
That's
the
not
letter is what we're in support of.
Okay.
Right, and then we're gonna have.
For right now, and then he'll come and
He'll come and
explain
explain,
Right,
if we
speak smart.
can.
If you go on the internet, you might find the form of the letter that you can use. You can tailor it to your own specifications, your own thoughts, but you can find a surprising amount of stuff on the internet. So if you Google Michigan, whatever, HDC or this kind of thing, you might find a lot of stuff that could be useful.
So is there a motion then to accept the HDC minutes?
I'll make that motion
With
with the letter.
Accepting the seed,
Sorry?
being through the doors. Also, under the
Oh,
HDC, the summer seeds group, project.
So he's supervising the
Yes.
students.
Yes, they have to.
Because I know at the Eagle River Cemetery, they had students redo the tombstones and they whitewashed them and they remounted some backwards and the paint they used, the materials were totally inadequate and they basically done more harm than good.
Are these juveniles or college age to the juveniles, so they do?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how, do you know what the age is on these people? I don't know. The seed
seed.
program, do you know how, high school?
Okay, then so
Okay,
they
but
would
they
need an adult supervisor.
Right.
Yeah,
supervised,
Yeah, they have to be supervised,
Yeah.
okay. They're not like college students over there.
Okay.
Right.
I'll
They're
just
gonna
get him
supervise,
to
and
do it.
they're gonna provide, they're gonna do all the work, and they'll provide all the paint and stain and everything you need, so it won't cost us a single thing.
Okay,
Awesome.
and they'll be talking to the property.
Well, if they have supervision, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So do you want to then, so we need a motion to participate in the seed program?
Yes, I'll do that motion.
Okay, so seed program.
And I'll second that.
Okay, so that's Sandy and Burge.
So that would be this, can we put it all together as a seat motion and, we've already did the motion for the neglect letter. So we will.
All right, so we've got a motion to participate in the seed program. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then finally, is there a motion to accept the HDC minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Jim? All right.
And then since when Steve gave the street department report, we addressed our committee report as well. Can we have a motion to?
As soon as I get down to it, I'll just ask if there's any other
Yeah, because
questions.
there's nothing
and
to
then-
add.
Yeah, okay.
And those should really be with the person
Yeah.
that's here, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next we have the clerk appointment. We have 2 candidates. We have Sydney and Julie. I think most of you know Sydney from her time on the council. Julie, of course, was a candidate for the administrator position, so this is an opportunity to ask questions. We'll have the council ask questions first, and then I know Nate, you indicated you might like to ask questions. So, Sydney.
I would like to make a statement to the
Okay.
council. Can I do that before the questions?
Sure.
Okay. Here, most of the people will face this one. Oh, actually, I think you may have information or things you might want to say in the process of my statement, but I ask that you please wait till I finish my statement. Okay. I would like to explain my sole objective for participating in village politics. I can say this no better than through the words spoken by our 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. My objective is that the village be a government of the people, by the people, for the people. This village has a grave problem. Let me tell you what words were spoken in our village office on Friday, April 7th. Remember what Jim Tersha said, if it can't be found, you can't have it. These words scare me. It is shameful for such words to be emanating from a public office that should be operating with all honesty and integrity in its task to record, keep, and provide access to public records. I find myself standing here today only to state to you that this is the time to fix this problem. To explain my position, let me tell you a little bit about myself, the things that you don't know already. I was essentially born and raised in a law office. This is a picture of me as an infant sitting at my father's desk. I lived a life sandwiched between a law office on the first floor and a social workers headquarters on the third floor. These were home offices, and I lived in the second floor. I had sitting doing my homework at the kitchen table, employees coming and going. I'm aware of all the things that are going on in an office. This is a picture of me as a teenager, working as a secretary in these offices. Instead of babysitting to earn spending money, I type documents and file papers. I share these pictures with you so you can understand how my early life experiences has shaped who I am today. You have to understand, I was immersed in a culture of performing services for the greater good. You see, lawyers and social workers are people that help people. For example, lawyers make people perform their obligations under contracts. Lawyers make people stop polluting. Lawyers make people pay up for injuring other people. And lawyers contest government action. There is no decision of great import that happens in this country without a lawyer's input. That is what a good lawyer's whole life is about. It is about trying to get the correct thing done. So that has been my orientation since childhood. Now bear with me through a second coming of age story. Because this story allows me to explain how the popular decision may not always be the right decision. When I was in college, I worked at the front desk of a dormitory. It was an all-girls dorm, and the rule was that the doors be locked at night. So of course, the girls that lived upstairs, they would go down at night to prop the door open with a book. And I wouldn't allow it. They didn't like me for that. But the point was, it was the only single-sex dorm on campus, and it was for people that sought out that privacy. The rule to support that privacy was that anyone who comes in at night has to be ushered in personally. That was the right thing to do, but it was the unpopular thing to do. Furthermore, I had knowledge that the party girls didn't have. I had knowledge of the girl who feared her stepfather coming in and beating her and burning her with cigarettes, and she wanted those doors locked. So the moral of the story is a lot of my positions for what is right are often misinterpreted by people who do not have all of the information. So now back to Calumet. All I wanted to do was serve the public by making fair, educated decisions. This requires giving the council time to consider things, information to consider things, and then make the decision. But the people that wanted to get something through would have the information for 2 months and then bring it to a special meeting at the last minute and say, we're going to lose out on this if we don't vote now. As much as I would complain about that and voted no because of that, my opposition would not relent. I got the unfair reputation of being obstructionist when all I was looking for was good government. Bear in mind, it would have not delayed or affected the process one iota to have it done correctly. It is certainly possible that a different decision would have been made, but that is only because the full council would have decided that the initiator's point of view lacked merit. And the current council must consider this. I worked long and hard and essentially wrote the blight ordinance. The blight ordinance was proposed as a foreign product blight ordinance from a big city that did not take into account the peculiarities of Calumet at all. I finally sat down and rewrote the entire ordinance so that it fit Calumet, and it was superb. And it was approved by the council. But your president told the administrator not to publish it, so that it wouldn't become an effective ordinance. And there was a reason for that. This points out the problem that we have in Calumet, in the clerks and the administrators. The administrator is put through by a power structure in Calumet, namely businesses and people that have been on the council and representatives that are from that group, which is fine. But they have neutered the clerk. The clerk should be there as an elected official, an independent elected official, an official that has the duty to make sure that that ordinance was published. Not an administrator beholden to a power group that doesn't complete the job, and in order for a corrupt member of that power group to get away with not enacting the ordinance. That is the problem in Calumet. That is the problem I have had with members of the council in Calumet. I am in the right. In a fair, objective view of these facts, I am in the right. Without a question, a comment, or a caveat. If you appoint me as clerk, you won't get me in opposition. You will get my product. You want information? It will be there. No one will be hiding information like they have hid information for decades from council members. You want history? The history will be given to you. You want a minute book? That minute book will be updated and accurate. It will be on the table at every meeting, and you can look through it. It won't be, go get me the minute book that is not put together. It'll be, pass me the minute book. Why am I here? I am here because I have a dedication to the village of Calumet. My great-grandfather immigrated to this country and set down his roots in Calumet. I had the opportunity to accept a job at a multi-billion-dollar software company in Madison, Wisconsin. But for my dedication to honor the spirits of my ancestors, I decided to make Calumet my home, my permanent home. I am not an outsider. I am you. With world-class credentials, a resource that loves this community, that loves these people, and I want to see things done right. I am here for the long term. I didn't come from the outside, and I'm not passing through. It would be a huge mistake for you to turn your back on the closest thing you have to a native, sophisticated, civic intellect who only wants to make the village of Calumet a better place for us all.
All right.
May I speak?
Sure, please.
Thank you. Thanks, ladies. Most of you already know me, but I applied for the administrative position. I'm not long-winded, I'll be very short-winded. As far as, I'm sure it was just a general comment about the outsider thing, but I've only been here since November. I don't consider myself an outsider. Home is where your heart is. My heart is here. This is my home. My parents are from the copper country. Nearly every relative I have originated from the copper country, from Hull. So I was born in Ontonagon. I lived there for many years. Now I'm up here. I feel like I'm home now. I love it here. And I plan on staying. I have a world of experience. Anywhere from insurance sales. I was a licensed insurance salesperson in the state of Michigan. Working at the Yukon County Sheriff's Department and Yukon County Probate Court for several years. And I did everything but wear a badge. Anything from handling female inmates to taking care of the radios, everything else, calling dispatch, calling ambulances. I handled every situation there was. I typed all the police reports, submitted them to the sheriff, to the prosecutor. They have everything I did had to be impeccable. I've been at Midwest Loan Services for over a year and a half. My work there is impeccable. I lived in Hancock until November, and I moved up here to finish school. And I have my bachelor's degree, and I really like it here. And so that's pretty much the gist of it. As far as I've done an enormous amount of volunteer experience over the years, from the time my children were in school. up until they graduated. My son's a doctor. He now has his PhD in philosophy. A year and a half ago, he graduated with his PhD. He's now teaching at Illinois State University. My daughter's a military veteran. She has her bachelor's degree, lives over by Iron Mountain. I have 2 young grandsons, and she's doing wonderful also. Great job and everything. My children, I always feel if your children are doing that great, you did something right. And so, as far as my kids and everything, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of myself. I've worked very hard over the years. I've had one of those people who've had to work from the bottom up my whole life, and I've done it. I'm nothing to be ashamed of, and I would contribute enormously to the community. I see a lot of improvements that do need to be made, but I see, when you see problems, you have to see solutions. I mean, not necessarily just one, there's always alternatives. And I always see that if there's something that needs to be addressed, it can be addressed sometimes in more than one way. As far as the people I've met, I haven't had any issues with anyone. I think everybody's been very generous and kind. When I was interviewed for the administrator position, everybody was more than fair, and I felt Joe deserved the position. I really did, and I'm happy he got it. And it seems to me he's doing a fine job. So, consider me for the position. Whatever you decide will be for the best, and thank you.
Thanks. All right, so first of all, trustees, do any of you have questions for either candidate?
Well, before I ask questions, I'd like to make a statement. You know, I have one issue that encompasses everything I'm gonna say. The new members of this council, and I can't speak for the old members, we're trying very, very hard to be as transparent as possible. If it doesn't fit into what people want to hear, I have no problem saying it. You know, I've tried to do everything fair, but it's very difficult, you know, because this village does have a lot of problems. It's very difficult to, every time you come to a meeting or you're trying to do a good job, there's accusations, and most of them I don't even understand. Like, for instance, I don't ever email anybody because when I talk to me, you come see me or you give me a call, okay? I don't think I've emailed twice in my whole life, okay? So, you know, we can't put the broad spectrum on everybody. You know, we're trying real hard to do that. We gotta let the old stuff go, because we weren't here when the other ordinance didn't pass, things like that. I want positive stuff. We all need to work together to make this good, okay? I don't know if you sat in the audience when we had the issue with the police officer. I had no problems giving the facts, whether everybody else here liked them or didn't like them, or the audience liked them. You know, you've got to try to do the best for the people. I want to see this council work together and not have all this animosity. I can't stand it. I'm not going to last long, I'm being honest. If we don't come to some consensus about being transparent, trying to work with people, listen to people, like most of the people that come to the audience, I would say 50% of them are screaming at us, and I'm not even sure I know why they're screaming at us. You know, if you've got a problem or an issue, boy, we'll listen. You know, we'll try to modify it, but you know, we've got to stop this. You know, I don't even know what it is, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping whoever we pick tonight, everybody can work together. You know, for many, many years, this clerk position has been, you know, probably for 35 years, it's just been a part-time. It wasn't like years ago where we had Margaret Stuckel that was here 40 hours a week, and she probably got a salary of so many, you know, hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now it's $100 a month. You do the minutes, you do a few other little things, and its precedent has been set that that's what it is. And that's, in my opinion, what it's going to be. We've gotten a legal opinion from our attorney saying this is the way it's been for a long time, and you know, everybody got to work together and just make it work. Because I guarantee you, if we picked a clerk and they made a big issue about all the clerk's duty, You can work for $100 a month and you're gonna sit there 40 hours if you wanna do all those duties. 40 hours a week, every week, and, you know, so we've gotta work together. My head spins with animosity things. I don't like it. So hopefully we can all work together.
Okay.
And question I have for you, Julie, are you a registered voter in the village of Calumet?
Yes, I brought my proof, something, that had been brought up at apparently at meetings.
Okay, because it was brought up at a
in the
different
car, I
meeting.
can go get my voter registration.
Well,
if
we
you'd like.
have it on file, okay, because we had heard that at a, okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And I have no further questions. I feel like I know both of you. You both have good qualities. So I guess I have no further
And I
questions.
have no problem with someone questioning if I'm a registered voter or not. It's a valid thing to question, and I brought proofs.
Well, it was brought up to the council, and I just wanted to ask you to make, get it
Yes.
out there. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Like I said, I can go get my actual voter registration out of the car.
We're good.
We have a copy, so we believe it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Anybody?
Do any of the other trustees have questions?
No?
Okay, Dave, do you have a question?
Okay, Virginia?
Yes.
I'm with 100%. I'm tired of the animosity. I am, I really am. You know, I'm genuinely tired of it. The problem is you can have so many members.
Yeah, are you have a question, or are you?
Well, she made a statement, and I want to respond to that statement. Do I have 5 minutes or don't I?
Well, you can have that petitions from the public.
Okay, then I will address the petitions of the public.
Okay.
It is important, Julie, in this position, to be aware of your full duties. Virginia has stated that the attorney has stated that your duties are simply honorary. The Village Law Act of 1895 is contrary to Mr. Turka's statement, which I will wait to get from him, because he's never wrote that in writing. Have you ever read the Village Law Act?
I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I can read it.
Okay.
I'm very capable of reviewing.
Our government, our village is also operated under a charter. Have you ever read the charter?
No, I have not read it.
It is a lot of the issues in the court, considering the public, and that causes the animosity that we have here today, is a result of the lack of information and the withholding of information until the last minute or not at all from the clerk's office, which is governed under the Freedom of Information Act. Have you read the Freedom of Information Act?
Okay, what I'm going to address, Nathan, is let's say I am offered the position as clerk. I would review all of that stuff myself, and I would also review exactly what is expected of me as the clerk. I know the general information, but as far as everything, reading everything concrete, no, I haven't done that yet. I would read it, but I do know the general information. I'm very well versed in a lot of things. Let me finish. I have a bachelor's degree. I know how to read. I know how to study. I know how to review. I know how to take tests, and I would have no problem with that.
Okay, you have spoken of general requirements. Where did you come across these general requirements?
I had inquired what general requirements were.
And what was the answer to your inquiry?
Well, general requirements is you keep the records. You're a record keeper.
Okay, now, here's my problem with that. It's not true. And I will make another statement at another time, because it's not a question. Here's another question for you. Okay, we've covered Freedom of Information Act. How about the Open Meetings Act?
I was on the,
So you have some.
just out. Okay. I was on the Lund County School Board and Lund County Planning Commission. I have had to follow guidelines and rules. I do understand a lot of them. I'm not going to read them verse for verse. I'm not an attorney, and I don't pretend to be, but I do know general guidelines and rules. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you on any of them.
Oh, I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to. And
And
we
I'm
talked
sure
earlier today.
yes,
We
he
talked
did.
earlier
He
today.
stopped by my home
Yeah.
twice today. He stopped by early this morning, and I told him I was busy. My computer crashed, so I was redoing my computer. I told him, come back later. And we did have a very nice conversation. We did, and, which is fine, but I'm not gonna go back and forth with you.
No, I don't expect you to. There were simple questions, and it wasn't my intention to show you in a bad light at all.
No,
As a matter of
that's fine.
fact, after speaking with this woman, I was encouraged. I was very encouraged. But after getting the answers to my question, I'm discouraged. Because, like Sydney said, you knew the clerk's position. You know, when you just have a clerk up there as a figurehead taking minutes.
Are you asking questions, or can you
Yeah.
hold that till the
Yeah,
end?
well, all right, I can rephrase that. Sydney, have you read the Open Meetings Act?
I have read the Open Meetings Act.
Do you understand the importance of the clerk understanding the Open Meetings Act?
I understand the importance of the clerk understanding the Open Meetings Act.
Do you think that that the clerk can function in accordance with the General Village Law Act as an honorary figurehead without an ordinance?
Would you please state that again?
Okay, it was stated earlier that when Julie inquired about the duties of the clerk, that she would just be basically a record
That's
keeping
not,
and
stop. That's not exactly, that wasn't the only thing that was said, but I'm not gonna go into detail with you because I feel like you're, you're picking.
What I'm trying to show is to operate in this village, you have to understand the law. You have to be an elected official, you have an obligation to fulfill your duties. You know, and if you don't understand what your duties are, how can you fulfill them? You know, you guys have an opportunity right now.
That's right, we'll give her a chance, she will learn, she'll
Yeah,
learn.
you know what? That's right, you'll give it her a chance because the meeting was already conducted, the vote was already done, the fix was in, Sydney didn't have a chance. This is great because Tyler's not here for one reason. Tyler's not here because he didn't want to cast a vote against Sydney because he did not want to offend somebody here and cast a vote for Sydney. You know, Tyler is not here for that reason alone. He said it's a chess game. Well, the village is not a game. People's lives are at stake. You need the best qualified person for the job. Sydney understands this village better than anybody in this room. She understands the General Village Law Act better than her own attorney. You know, I can cite case law, and I would love to debate with you on this clerk's position, Mr. Turk, because you are wrong. There is no precedent. Not a legal precedent. What's been done illegally in the past is not precedent for what should be done in the future.
Could we move on? These aren't questions. All right. Are there any other questions?
Julie, I just had one. In your letter, you said you're responding to the phone call and email you received. Who called you?
I did.
Yes, she does.
And who sent you an email?
Dave.
But just that one party?
No, I called lots of people. I called about 20 people to see if they were interested.
See, I think when we start,
I'll vouch for that.
you know, just soliciting a few people, you know, in a big
No,
village.
I called about
it's
18 people.
awkward.
So that's just not a few people, Pat.
Yeah, but it's awkward if we have 500 registered
Am I
voters
supposed to
and,
sit there and
well,
know that
that's,
we need people to do these jobs? And I just didn't
see, the
call.
sign was on the
Listen,
door.
Let me
you
say
know.
something.
This was before.
I didn't just call for the clerk position. I called for, we needed people to sit on the planning commission. We needed people to sit on the HDC.
May I interrupt? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. But
Sure.
I showed an interest also in the planning commission, which I also gave a resume for. I was on the Acton County Planning Commission also. So I.
Okay, I just thought that was interesting.
Call one person.
Okay, Dave, who did you email?
I talked to, who did I talk to? I know I talked to Abby Green about it. And then who else? I only talked to 3 people, so yeah. And then Sandy had indicated she
I
had
talked to the
interest.
Sounds, I talked to
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I talked to, I should have brought my list. Okanens, I talked to.
Okay.
I mean, there were many people, and it wasn't just for the clerk's position, it was for
all the different positions that we need people for. Okay, that's it. I wouldn't have done that just because I wouldn't want to look like I was showing favoritism.
Oh, and I also, if I may interject, when I was interviewed for the administrative position, like stated, I'm interested, I was interested in more than just the administrative position. I was interested in anything that would come available that where I could contribute to the community. So,
I actually have a question. If you were interested, why have I never seen you at a public meeting in the village of Calumet?
well, I work a lot of late shifts. I'm going to be switching my late shifts. So I can, if I am clerk, I will be able to attend the meetings. I work until 8 o'clock at night a lot of times.
But somebody who's civic-minded, I would expect them to attend at least one meeting.
I did attend the meeting that I came for the interview. And I just moved here in November, so I'm still getting my everything together from the interview. But I do care about the community. Why else would I even apply for the positions? Because the pay is minimal. It's basically a voluntary position. And that's being straightforward and honest about it. So, you're basically volunteering more time than anything, which I have no problem. I've done a lot of volunteer positions, so.
All right, if there are no more questions, how do you want to take a vote? I mean, you just want me to go around and either vote for Julie or you vote for Sydney, is that okay? Is that acceptable?
That's fine to me, it's however you want to do it.
I mean, is that agreeable?
Sure.
Okay, so want to start with Jim?
Sydney.
Sydney? Sandy?
Julie.
Okay, Sharon?
Julie.
Okay, Burge?
Julie?
Okay, Peggy?
Sydney.
Okay, and I'm Julie, so that's 4-2, so congratulations, Julie.
Thank you.
All right. All right, and moving on. Okay, Public Works, we've already gone through their minutes, so is there a motion to accept the Public Works Committee meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept.
And that's Verge. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Sharon? All right. There's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Can
Okay.
I interject? My intention is to always point out what I want, what the council should be doing is what's correct. What's correct is to have a motion in the written record. See, I'm helping you here. To have a motion in the written record of who you're appointing to the clerk's position. I have not heard that motion.
All right, is there a motion to appoint Julie to the position of clerk?
I make that motion.
Okay, Sandy, is there a second?
I'll second it.
George, okay.
Isn't that a little backwards, so
Well, look,
I would have made the motion to appoint Sydney if it was going to be in the form of the motion.
Let's do them both and see how it comes out.
Well, we
this
know
guy's gotta
already.
move first.
Yeah.
So we have a motion on the
Yep.
floor. If that motion doesn't pass, then Peggy can make whatever motion she likes.
That's right.
All right. So then, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
To,
Appointing Julie as clerk.
well, what's the point? It's moot.
Well, I mean,
It's moot. I think they're both going to be outstanding. Either one, I believe would have been qualified. I think,
I still need an I or an A.
I'll say nay.
Okay. Jim, were you an I too? I couldn't.
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, so again, Julie, you've been appointed clerk, so, all right.
Thank you, I accept the position and I'm honored, and you won't regret it.
Okay, so then moving on to Public Works, we have a motion by Verge and a second from Sharon to approve the April 13th minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, sanitation, did you guys meet this month?
We did not.
You did not, okay. Finance did not meet. We already food, public safety, public buildings, I don't think we met, Sharon, correct?
No.
Okay. Personnel.
Okay. We met to discuss Joe's possible raise. You received the information that we gave you, the comparisons and the projections. And with Corinne starting in June 1st, she's dropping her hours from 35 to 21. So if we pay Joe the difference, that from the hours that Corinne will not be working because Joe will have to pick up more responsibility, with Corinne not there. And this will be at no cost to the village because we're just basically switching the duties. And hopefully that we can agree to do this. And then please keep this piece of paper in mind for next month when we start talking about Rob for the street department. So keep these figures, please, for Rob Remley when we discuss his job position.
Now, if you look at, this was made for informational and comparison. If you look at the police chief, I know there was a lot of comments about what we were paying him, this or that, but, you know, it was decided that we were gonna compile, you know, and give it to personnel, you know, what the actual cost is. Because people think that because you're giving somebody a snippet to buy their own insurance, that's money in their pocket, and it's not. Now, if you look at the comparables with our police chief, you know, you looked at if Dave Outman had not taken a new job elsewhere. Dave Outman had continued to work all last year for 2016 and not resigned to take a position in Hancock. Through the end of May, it had already cost the village $42,739.86. We were contractually obligated with a really great medical plan, retirement, things like that. So we projected it, just so you see what a savings we've got with our new police chief. If we would have projected that, he would have cost the village about $100,000, $100,575 because of all his benefits. You know, Anderson up front, you know, when we presented that, it made it look like he was getting this big salary. He was not. What we were doing, we were saving $6,600 by saying, here's a chunk of money, you're the first year, we're not gonna pay the 17 grand, whatever it was, you buy your own darn insurance. So, well, then people squawk because it made it look like the salary was big. It is not. Now, the savings between Chief Outman and our new chief is about 40 grand a year. That's a lot of money because of the contractual obligations before. There's a huge difference. So that's the reason it was done, because people don't understand benefits are worth a whole lot of money. They're a whole lot of money. Same thing with our street, and he's worth every penny of it. You know, just for, you know, to be transparent here, I'll give you an example. Steve Kello, he's our street supervisor, awesome guy. His wages are not that high. Last year in 16, he was around $35,000. He had a lot of overtime, but he always took it in comp. But then you get into his benefits. You add all his benefits, his insurance, his vacation, his medical co-pays, which the village is responsible for. He's up to around $62,000 a year. People don't realize, you know, how much benefits can cost. So, you know, just keep that in mind when we're looking at Rob later on too. You know, it's going to cost the village some money if we're going to have good people.
See, the medical co-pays though,
Okay, that's.
I thought there was a cap on them.
No, there's apparently not, because there was a contract with Dave Ogden, and anything above, I believe, is it $10? If the village, you know, if it was out of their pocket, the village pays it, and it's substantial. If you look at it, like his was, you know, like a lot of money, like.
Okay. I think we've proven our piece of paper here about what we're saving the village. We did this so we can maybe give Joe another raise. And it's the difference between with what Corinne would have been paid, so it's not costing us any more money. So I would like to make a motion to that effect.
So essentially, you're moving.
We're just moving money, we're not giving him a raise,
Yeah.
responsibility and
We're not
money
giving
over to
them-
Joe, he's gotta take it on.
It's still coming out of the office's budget. It's staying there.
But essentially, you're moving.
Corinne's money to Joe,
Right.
along with the
But-
responsibilities.
I just want to get the number. Is it this $8,736?
Yes.
Right, it's $12, it's $168 a week. Because, you know, at some point in time, we have to be realistic here. If we're gonna have an administrator, you know, for the village, you know, Corinne does a fine job, but at some point in time, you know, it might just be him. You know, that the village is probably working towards that, and when he needs to take lunch, he needs to put the little thing on the window saying back at 1 o'clock. You know, that's what we're kind of trying to work towards, like, you know, but until, you know, as long as Corinne is still here, you know,
Okay,
she'll
so-
still have duties.
Okay, so Sandy, your motion is to increase Joe's salary by $8,736 annually. Okay, so that's the motion.
And that's the total we're saving on
Well,
Corinne?
Yes,
Yeah.
see, she's going down to 21 hours, so we're not adding any more money to the village. We're transferring responsibilities, and, because she's only gonna be here 21 hours, that's not very much.
So 14 hours at $12 an hour comes to
Yes.
8,000.
Yes, yearly,
87.
it's
Yeah.
$168. So they're gonna have to figure it out among themselves, like, you know, Corinne's duties are gonna be substantially lower. It's just a matter of who's doing what. No added cost, none.
All right, so we have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Sharon? All right. Because this expenditure, we'll do roll call, so Jim?
No.
Okay, Sandy?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Peggy?
No,
I'm sorry, I missed Bert. Bert? Sorry.
I'm a yes.
Okay, and I'm a yes as well, so. All right, anything else personnel?
I don't think it passed then. Or-
Yeah, I think it.
Doesn't it have to be 2/3 of the total electorate? That'd be 5.
We had 4, yeah, 4, 2, I think we're okay. Yeah. All right, so Sandy, anything else on personnel?
No, just, we'll have to get together and talk about that.
All right, so then is there a motion to accept the personnel committee report?
I'll make that motion.
All right, is there a second?
I just think it's a little premature because we don't have a probationary period. He hasn't worked 90 days yet, and to receive an almost $9,000 raise, I wish I could have worked in places like that.
Let me ask you this, does he have a probationary period in his contract?
No,
Okay.
I wanted one,
And the
but
second question is,
I'm not on that
if he's gonna
committee.
do more responsibilities and Corinne is gonna do less, and then at some point in time, none, do you think it's fair to do it the way we did it?
well, I have
I'm
to
just
look
asking.
at I think there's a cap on the amount you're allowed for co-pays, and when you look at the total package,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've studied the total package in dollars. It's not just a bag of
Here's the
quarters
problem
to
with
go down the
that.
street.
Those co-pays,
Yeah,
those are contractually obligated, and I'm gonna tell you, like when Corinne's, she's on TRICARE. After her husband passed away, she's on TRICARE. So she had village insurance, but the verbal contract or written contract, however it's stated, is she would not take the village would not pay anything, but they would pay her per co-pays, just like they were contractually obligated to Chief Outman and to Steve Kello, and that was a fair deal for the village. It's a very fair deal for the village. Now, when Steve Kello retires, there'll be no more of that, because that's, you know, that'll be the end of that.
Well, some municipalities, based on insurances and everything, don't hire employees. They contract with independents, and that's how they handle the insurance issues. I mean, we really have to look at our entire structure, because
It will be looked at when
it's
when
just
Steve is-
astronomical.
Oh, right, and I don't
Yeah.
think you realize that until the numbers are on the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I
it really is,
but
is shocking.
There is an IRS table, and there is a schedule, how much you can pay for co-pays, and I think we're in violation. But I haven't had time to look into it, because I just got this recently. So we're gonna look.
Well, when
at
Steve
that.
retires,
You
it's
know.
pretty much, you know, that's gonna be off the table, because there'll be different medical plans we'll be looking at that won't be these Cadillac plans. Those have just been in effect. Now, you gotta remember, these medical plans that Steve has, who's been here a long time, and Dave Outman had, nobody on previous council has ever addressed that. It just went on year after year after year after year. Nobody ever looked into a lesser plan. It just kept going. It was like the gravy train for years and years. Now it's, you know, you can't take something away from somebody that has something, but when he's all done, then we're gonna look at it. But that should have been looked at, you know, on a yearly basis, because there's different plans out there that don't cost so much. You saw what the plan is,
Oh,
it costs,
sure.
yeah, I mean, it's quite
People take jobs
expensive.
just for the medical now.
Yeah,
So we have a motion then to approve the personnel committee report. No further discussion, all in favor?
I,
Any opposed? Okay, so ordinance is not meet. I will get the rules of procedure out to everybody. I believe you have ordinance number 146. Are there any other changes to?
Oh, like 146.
this is like my nemesis here, Peggy.
I had
You
them.
better have read it.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, good.
I just wanted explained to me, so if you can explain it to me, this one paragraph, then you'd be able to enforce it. But if the language is nebulous, then it would be hard to enforce. It's about civil infractions. Where's that page?
It's on page 3, top, section 4.
This is the exact same ordinance that you people passed way back, and it wasn't brought forward. The only difference right now is the fine, pretty much. And it's been run by our
Yeah, I
village
highlighted it.
attorney.
I'm not sure that, I found the form, Cindy made substantial changes to it, and I accepted her suggestions. So this is pretty largely what we did last year. I don't
Okay,
recall,
if-
the
here,
last
is this it?
draft I had on my computer at the same time
Here it is.
as in the draft that was provided to me from the committee through Joe Snow late last week.
Okay, I'm on page 3.
Yeah.
Okay. It says, the first offense, the fine shall not be less than 50 for the first offense.
Okay.
And then 150 for the second, and not less than 250 for a subsequent repeat offense.
So
In the discretion of the court.
So-
But I didn't think we were going to court if it was civil infractions.
You go to court. I mean, nobody can levy a fine other than a magistrate or the court. You can't.
Okay, so
it has
It's
to
not
be.
criminal.
It's not criminal. The fact that it's a civil infraction means simply that there's no possibility for jail time or a criminal record arising from an offense like this. And also, the defendant has no right to appointed counsel
okay, then
at state expense. So,
paragraph 3 says, each and every day during which a violation of this ordinance shall exist shall be deemed a separate offense.
so it gives the village the right, the discretion to charge not only on a single day, but if there are problems later on, to charge them next day or the day after, or a week later or a month later for the same.
But it
offense.
could be interpreted, could it not, that, okay, $50 fine, I don't do anything, so the next day it's $150 because that's deemed a separate offense, and on day 3, it's $250, so it's $450 for 3 days.
This is very common language in ordinances of this type, and it's designed to encourage people to do what it is that they should do under the ordinance. So.
You like that language? You think it's
I mean,
enforceable?
it's.
That's the only thing that I think it's, well.
You'll find it in ordinance after ordinance after ordinance, all through the state. And not just for blight ordinances, but all kinds of other ordinances that involve.
See, I just wouldn't have each and every day as a separate offense.
Well, they do it when they condemn a building. If they condemn a building and you don't do something within the allotted time, it's every day you get that fine. And he's right, it encourages you to do something.
Yeah.
Because people are either gonna do something or they're not gonna do anything.
No, it's up to the judge or the magistrate to decide what the fine is going to be.
Okay.
But the magistrate or the judge is not going to make it so onerous that the person can't pay because the judge isn't interested in that.
And most times it's if you get a ticket for something, you know, it's just gonna get taken care of.
All driving offenses are civil infractions.
Okay, and then,
If driving under the influence is a criminal matter. Criminal negligence behind the wheel is a criminal matter.
on page 2, it said the ordinance shall be enforced by persons designated by the village council, so every council could pick whoever that's.
So the obvious person to enforce is the chief of police, yeah.
Okay, but it doesn't have to be spelled out in there, right?
It's whoever we designate.
Okay, well then I'm good with everything except that, you know, you need to change the years on them.
I need the change of the draft.
And then,
We're on the end?
So here's what I would suggest. I don't know what you're gonna do this evening, and I'm not going to predict, but if this ordinance is adopted at some point in time, or some modification of it, there'll be a vote. And on the day when the council votes, that day will be filled in as the adoption date for the ordinance. The parties, the members of the council who vote in favor are yeas, the vote against are nays. If somebody's absent, and for example, Tyler Ross is absent this evening, I fill that up. And then I'll just
adopt it.
when it's after
Make a
you
motion.
adopted it, whatever you adopt, I'll type it up. I'll fill in the names, the dates, etc. And then I'll just bring it to the clerk for signature, and the clerk and the village administrator can publish it in the Gazette, in accordance with statute, then it'll be adopted.
We're kind of hoping that, you know, when they hand deliver it to someone that has a violation, that hopefully they'll, you know, do something. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or not, but we'll find out.
Learn a while, yep. I'm sure that some people might hang their heads and be embarrassed and do something, but I think you'll find a lot too.
Is there any further discussion or questions? Okay, is there a motion then to adopt 146?
I make a motion to adopt finally 146.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. There's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Could I suggest though that if we adopt this, then you gotta read the book to put it in the paper, and if you look in the old methods, they would attach the newspaper publication right with it.
Yeah, we should do that.
And they would sign with the president. Yeah. Instead of, we have ordinances that are not signed, we don't know if it's somewhere ever published. And this would make a much better paper trail. Here you got the publication and the correct signatories.
We'll do that. That should
Well,
be done.
you have to remember two things, all of our ordinances are not on file with the county.
Right, there's
Remember when
one,
the county clerk was here, she said, you know, they didn't follow through with.
there's supposed to be a copy of every ordinance we pass at the county level.
Right.
All right, so now petitions from the public. Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
My prediction was just totally true. I apologize if I offended you in any way, but I told you beforehand what I was going to do. Mr. Turco, please explain, how can the clerk operate under the General Village Law Act and delegate their authority without an ordinance?
I'm not gonna debate.
I didn't think you would, because you can't cite case. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. So, being that he will not come in here in a public meeting and say that you can delegate your duties like that and not do your duties, I want you to be fully aware that if you neglect your duties, it's a criminal offense, misdemeanor, a $500 fine, up to a year in jail. You know, if there's corrupt intent, then we jump up right up to a felony, right?
Nate.
No, it's true, it's true. Would you like to give that opinion? If you don't want to give that opinion, then do not interrupt me.
In
You're really
over 40
scaring her off,
years, in
Nate.
over 40 years of
No,
practice
he's
of
not.
law.
Only 40 years of practice of law, 30 years in this village giving bad advice, Jim. You deserve to be disbarred over what you have done to this village. You have destroyed a good place. You have destroyed democracy in Calumet.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, it's not my opinion, it's fact. You are telling these people they can do things, but you will not go on written record with your opinion. Because you know your written opinion would be flawed with the Michigan Supreme Court.
I'm not-
I have been to Westlaw. I have cited the cases. You have no standing. None. Can you cite one case? One case, Jim,
Lower, please.
where there is
I'm getting
that.
headache.
Where
Please
there
lower.
is that. You can't.
Lower.
There aren't cases.
Exactly, but I can cite you cases where the clerk neglected their duty and they were prosecuted.
You won't find any prosecutions that I know of in the Western Upper Peninsula.
Not the Western Upper Peninsula, but in Michigan, you sure will.
Well,
Matter of fact, I can find a case where a sitting judge was
I'm not gonna debate this with you.
oh, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're not. But the council should take notice of this. He will not give a written opinion, because his written opinion will not stand up in court.
I am
And
not going
she
to.
should
And
be.
all of you that are
I will not
participating in this are going to be complicit
Absolutely.
in this activity.
Absolutely. And when if you want to take that advice and follow it, that makes you knowing. And to be knowing is to be willful. All right? So please do your best to do all the duties. Do not take for granted the legal opinion that will not ever, ever be in writing. He won't put it in writing because it will not stand. And if he won't put it in writing and it will not stand, then you are at risk of prosecution. Because we've let things go on in this village for way too long, and it's not going to happen anymore. I, for the last 6 months, have been documenting cases of the No Open Meetings Act violations, the General Village Law Act violations, Freedom of Information Act violations, and violations of the general charter of this village. I haven't done anything about them because I was hoping for change with this new council. But let me tell you from here on out, those days are over. I am pivoting my position. I am no longer going to try to change your minds. Instead, I'm going to try to unite my community. I'm going to unite my community from Loring all the way out, towards Sweetown. We're going to put everybody together and we're going to vacate the incorporation of the village. And you will not be a process in creating a new city, Jim. You will not be a part of it. We will vacate the incorporation of the village, we will build a new government, and we will build a new city that everybody can participate in, that will not be subject to a 30-year lawyer who just thinks his word is God and everybody listens to him. I respect your profession, but what I do not respect
It's like Cindy said, your job is for the better of the people. Your job isn't to look for loopholes. That's what you've done for 30 years, is you look for loopholes so they can do things in their interest and not in the public good. You should just resign. But then you're not getting paid. So what is your purpose for being here? You know, I mean, get real, Turk. No, Jim, you don't even have to answer me. If you can't give me a written opinion, on how you are complying with the general village law, I don't even answer.
Hey, listen, there's a clause.
He's the president. He's the only one in there that can tell me to shut up.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you to shut up, because I'm tired of listening to your ranting and raving.
I am never going to stop. I am never going to stop ranting and raving until you guys do something right. She raises her voice, I'll raise my voice.
Richard,
I'm sick of
just-
this.
I know,
I'm
just sit down,
absolutely
just
sick
sit
of
down.
him being disruptive, and it's part of
It's
the
not
village
disruptive
charter.
when somebody interrupts me.
Close the door.
It's not even disruptive when
You're
somebody
rude,
interrupts me.
rude, and
You gave me
All right,
3 minutes to speak.
enough, okay? Just, are you done?
No, I'm
Well,
not.
that's it.
You are done.
I mean, you are. This is
You
disruptive.
know what's up?
This is disruptive.
I wasn't disrupted, you disrupted me. You disrupted me.
All right, did you have a comment yet?
This is ridiculous.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I'm just interested in the work, I just want to be a part of that, it affects me solely, so I'd like to be present for that. I don't know who Tyler is, he's never consulted me on the ordinance or
Okay.
everything or anything.
All
I'd
right.
just like to know what's together so far.
If you could be here,
Can I have a copy, please?
He'll probably be here
Yeah.
next time.
On the 5th,
yeah,
at 3 o'clock?
yes.
Is it only contingent on Tyler's schedule or?
No,
No.
he's very open.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very open. And if Tyler, there's
I know
three
we were working
people,
around it, so I was just
there's
wondering.
3 people on the ordinance committee. It's Tyler Ross, and it's me, and it's our president, Dave Leiter.
Okay.
So there will be a meeting, unless all 3 can't go. It will be posted on the outside door,
And
so,
so if something changes, that's where I'll know.
yeah, that's how you'll know. You can even call the village offices, but you know, we're gonna post this that date.
Oh, but the ordinance that you were gonna present today, do you have a copy of that?
No, if you want, this is the information on medical marijuana facilities that the state passed. Please take this when we leave,
Thank you.
so. All right, if there's nothing else, then the last thing is the approval of previously paid bills in the amount of $29,899.17, and current bills in the amount of $12,969.31. So are there questions?
I found it rather alarming, actually, that never does it show up the check that was cut for $7,500 to Champion Monument for half of the purchase price of the Italian Hall Monument. The account's not on the form. The check was written on April 4. I just haven't in, I stopped in the office and it was on April 4, but it didn't come up at our special meeting on the 6th. But you had to sign it. So you were aware that they had paid for half of the monument and it went in and it hasn't come before us yet.
But these were donations that they're the caretaker of the money, like you said, they're not really.
We are the fiduciary.
But these are like village funds being spent, there's a difference, this is like.
Well, no, but if you want that on there, I mean, we can put it on.
It should be on there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
basically, it's a
no,
gift
I
aid to the village and
Yeah.
the village.
But if the money goes into our account
I didn't know that.
before it comes out of our
We are
account,
fiduciaries,
we
so-
should know
Yeah.
what's happening.
It
because
should be,
Yeah, it should be on there.
How did you know about it?
Financial records.
I asked in the office, I said, has anything happened with the Italian Hall
I'm
Monument?
hearing about it.
Yeah, put it on there.
And they said, yeah, it was ordered. And I said, oh, how, when, and
You know, there should
I went
be
back
a
the next
dispute
day.
on this. If
No.
that money is not in the bills and so on, it
Yeah, it
should
should
be
be there, yeah, I agree.
but I think it was the timing, because people were real interested, when was that gonna be ordered and that, and not to tell us for a month, and to have it not show up tonight. If I hadn't actually physically asked the question, none of us would still know.
We would know.
And I think that's important, that if we're supposed to be making decisions on behalf of the village, when is that monument, you know, when it's ordered, when is it coming in?
If money comes into the village and goes out to the village, it should be accounted for in the usual way, regardless of where it's going or where it's coming from. So if there's a gift, say to the general fund, and there's a condition on the gift that it be used for a certain purpose, then it should be
And I will-
indicated in our records as.
I will warn the council that this is not a first occurrence. There are many bills that are going through that are not appearing on your bills for approval at the council meeting. You are not given all the information.
So then, okay, so previously paid bills then would be increased by 7,500? Is that check has been written? Okay. All right.
But the fund should also be cited. We have a specific account.
What is it called?
It's the Italian Hall
Fund?
Memorial Park Fund.
Yeah.
You know, I saw that on.
And it's been on all our other
So
lists, but this one, it was left off.
So there was
because
a
the money went-
fund open specifically for this
No.
project.
Now it's existed.
And we had $1,200 in there.
And it's in the name of the village of Calumet.
Yeah, and like Lonnie got me 7,500, and that's the amount that they put into the account with the 1,200, and then had to take it out, unless they left it in the general fund, and then they're not doing it properly at all.
So I'm not arguing with you. You know, if the bills, I'm not familiar with how the bills are put together or what you see every month, because it's, in general, hasn't been a concern of mine, but if you
Hold the wool over your eyes.
approve bills, account by account,
Oh, yeah, no, there's
then this should be.
But the account wasn't even on our list, and $7,500, that makes a big difference, you know?
Is that the donation amount plus the 1,200, or does that include the 1,200?
It's just the donation amount.
Just the
Okay, so the
donation.
1,200 still in there? or did
Yeah,
that go
Yeah, yeah,
the
even
1,200's in there, that's why
Okay.
I'm wondering, did they not put it into the fund? Where did that? They said they had 3 checks. Did it go into the Italian Hall Fund?
Should have, it was supposed to. I didn't.
That's what I thought,
Yeah, I
but,
believe those are all donations so far.
but then was it moved back to the general fund to cut a check? Because we want to check it.
Ask our administrator, he's the one that took the money.
Yeah, I believe the 7,500 is all donations that have been received from Mike Lottie
And, right,
and provided.
but it, what was it, 4,000 from the Historic Society, 2,000 from Mike Lottie, and 1,500 from Jim Hughes. So that was the 7,500. Did it go into the general fund, or did it go into the Italian Hall Park Fund? And then, did you put it in the park fund and then take it back out and put it in the general fund to cut the check?
Yeah, we'll do the right thing to do then.
Yeah, I assume it went into the, I'll find out tomorrow. I assume it went into the Italian Hall Fund, and then,
It
yeah.
should go out of the Italian Hall Fund.
This is a
Fund-
fiasco. You guys are assuming way too much. You need a clerk to oversee activity in this village.
At any rate, now the previously paid bills then, including that 7,500, would be in the amount of $37,399.17, and the current bills are the same, so. Are there any other questions? If not, are there motions to pay those bills in the amounts named?
I make a motion to pay the bills in the month.
Okay, so Verge, is there a second?
I'll second. Go ahead.
Sandy?
I second it.
Sharon? All right.
Wouldn't that be on the previously paid bills, so?
Yes, that's where I added it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I added it, so. All right, then we'll do a voice vote. Jim?
Yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
And Bert. Sorry, I did that second
Sorry,
time.
we're
Yeah.
gonna change. Move chair.
Yeah. All right, and
Yes.
finally, is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yes, there's a motion to adjourn. I make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Sharon? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you write? I thought you were.
By